of mine on Instagram when I was in New York promoting a show where I made fun of New Yorkers. I was like, hey, I'm walking here. Hey, my dog's shitting over here. And I was just doing stupid shit. And he saw it and like reshared it. And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, why do I have 500 new followers overnight, which was like rare. I was like, the fuck? And so I looked at him like, Bill Burr shared my story. So I was like, don't be weird. But I'm like, DM him. I'm like, just DM him back and thank him.
What did you say?
So I waited.
It?
Okay. So I was with my buddy Alex Pavone, who's hilarious, who's actually opening for me this weekend.
Very cool.
And he's like, you say something. You have to say something. He's like, don't be weirdo about it. So I waited 2 hours and I wrote, hey, Bill, thanks for sharing my story. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And then he like hearted it and then wrote, you had me crying over here. So he like quoted my bit. And I was like, so I hearted it. And I'm like, put your phone away. Because I could be
Take
like,
a break.
put it away. Don't be stupid.
Take a break.
Yeah.
You might be like, this guy seducing me. Like,
yeah,
tell him about your son.
So listen, you're going to suck my dick after the show. No, I'm not. But he literally was like, he wrote back like an hour later being like, hey, would you want to open for me on the road? And I was like, I literally was like, this is like on my birthday, like, two years ago.
On your birthday?
On my birthday.
Cool, man. Be
and
cool.
I was like, I'm like, I'm losing my fucking mind right now. And then I did the special, and then I did very well. And Bill like was backstage laughing at me. Then I opened for him a couple times in Toronto and Salt Lake City, and then he wrote me into his movie, which is fucking cool as hell. It was literally just me. I played myself. It's just a small role,
best.
but yeah.
I'll blame myself for everything. Everything. Even when my wallet got stolen from my truck, I blame myself. Shouldn't have left my truck
Well, you
unlocked.
should have. Hey, you should have blamed yourself because that was your fault.
Oh, that makes me mad. It makes me mad that you're blaming me. I want to blame myself.
So this is love.
You stay the fuck out of it.
And then Crystal got in front of it real fast and said, no, I'm going to blame you before you can blame yourself.
Someone call that a swoop.
That was a swoop. That was a great swoop.
Swoop down and crow blame me.
Yes.
They're lost dog reward signs for this little Yorkie. And
the coyotes got it.
the
probably.
reward is $5,000.
Oh, that's in our neighborhood too. That's around here too.
Yeah. If that person doesn't give you the $5,000,
You killed the dog.
well, can you sue
Right,
them?
you hold it hostage.
Keep
Obviously.
the dog. You keep the dog. It's your dog now.
But can you sue them for the reward?
Well, it's an offer, so the offer is, hey, find my dog, I'll give you $5,000, and then if you find the dog, you're accepting that offer. So it can be considered a contract. But then, of course, there was the Lady Gaga case where they tried to sue her for the reward, but the court there found that they had unclean hands because they were involved, I think, in taking the dog or stealing the dog. So there are defenses to it, obviously, if you had to sue somebody, but usually it is an offer, and if you accept it by finding the dog, they're legally entitled to the reward money.
Do you see him come home? He takes his shoes off, and then he takes his socks off, and he puts them on top of the shoes to wear tomorrow. The same socks.
And you wonder why your fucking feet stink. And you wonder why your fucking feet stink.
And I'm like, you gotta get new socks, man. That's the point. You gotta wash that part.
2 times. I do it. Give them 2 uses.
You know.
Yeah, I'm trying to help you with the laundry.
And she also wears pajama pants with underwear, and I'm like, that's weird.
Is that weird? What are you supposed to wear with no underwear?
Yeah, you're supposed to wear
Correct. You gotta
pajama
let that
pants.
thing air
Yeah,
out.
you gotta let that thing
I
air
don't even
out.
wear pajama
Thanks,
pants
son.
anymore because it's too hot.
You get your coochie boogers all over the place.
Oh, come on.
I'm a perverted unicorn. And what I mean by that is I will be fucking until I die.
Well, yeah, this is why
I have to.
Men get villainized for like marrying younger women. It's like, well,
Yes, please.
Yeah?
Yes, sir. I'm waiting.
Are you a robot?
She gets angry when I try to finger her.
If he doesn't do the back rub, I get angry. That's what like.
That's the only
makes
part that
me-
she's not angry. While I'm in her, she's very angry.
I could be more thoughtful.
Hey!
Once we got to the Super Bowl, I'm playing in my home state, so it was special.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And one of them, I'm getting chills right now just thinking about it when they introduced representing the NFC champions Chicago Bears, and we all run out on that field, and you have all of the cameras and all the lights, and I'm just thinking to myself, man, like I'm really here playing in the Super Bowl, and the whole world is watching. Like I just had to sit and think about that. And and I'm the type of person, like I'm really calm. So most games I just go into it and it's not a big deal. It's just a game. I practice. I'm ready for it. Here we go. But for the Super Bowl, I got on the sideline and I had to calm myself down and tell myself, man, it's just a game. Play it just like any other game. And I was literally talking to myself because the magnitude, I'm still getting like chills.
That's insane. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hey.
Crystal and Bart are here.
Hey, Crystal and Bart.
Hey.
The
It's
Bart
always
Merritt
good to see
team.
you guys.
If you want to buy or sell a house anywhere, even outside of Central Florida, we don't talk about that as much.
It's scary out there. Outside of the Central Florida area, to me, might as well be outside of the village. M. Night Shyamalan.
Give Bart or Crystal a call because they could refer you to an agent in the area you want to buy or sell.
Yeah.
And
They have friends, something I do not have.
Yeah. And so, and it's already vetted through them, so you don't have to start looking around and asking your coworkers.
It saves you time.
You're using your coworker's mother-in-law. She
Yeah.
sold 2 houses back 19.
I know her. I know that lady. She's a clout chasing bitch.
A lot of.
I'll say it. Clout chasing bitches.
So, Bart and Crystal, I've noticed.
Oh, I thought he was gonna do it. I thought he
Oh
was
my
like, what's
God.
going on?
I thought you were going to start.
I think he heard me complain about it.
I thought you were going to give Bart a gripe, and then I was going to be like, I don't know what's
You
happening
leave Bart
anymore.
alone.
And I've only noticed this because, we'll be riding in the car, and Crystal will have to take work calls, and the person on the other end of the call, it doesn't even sound like they are doing any business transaction with a house. It sounds like they're super confused about what is happening and
So you're
what
listening,
to do.
You're listening to your wife have a conversation,
Yeah.
and you're assuming that the person on the other end, based on your wife's reaction.
No, he can. Well, it's on the car.
Oh,
speaker,
okay. It's on the
so I
car
think-
speaker, and you're listening to it, and the person.
By the way, I so much want to say butthole.
That's what I do.
Dan, yeah.
That's what I do. I do that all the time. I'll slide a homo says what?
Oh, when I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
I
gotta
was
slide
lost
right in
for a
there.
second.
Go with a classic.
Yeah.
You gotta like, homo says what?
And so I want to do almost.
And then you know what they'll do? They'll go, what? Then you
Yeah.
gotta hold it together, or toot the horn 2 times.
But I realized.
What up,
that the
everybody? Good
person
morning.
is
Good
so
morning. Good
stupid.
morning. Good morning. We're gonna turn on the cameras here and see how loud the pressure washers are. We have guests.
Let us know if you can hear it.
You're gonna be able to hear it. We have a guest who has really cool hair.
I just hope they don't blast this window again and then get mud all over all of my stuff.
Well, I would move your
Like
bag maybe
last year.
preemptively. Put it on the chair at least so it doesn't get
Move my
destroyed.
phone.
Yeah. I don't care about that light. I do care about your computer and you, obviously, in your bag, but I don't care about the carpet because that's survived. If it's gonna come through, it's gonna be that bottom, and he's gonna.
Well, it's blasted through here before
Oh, you're
too.
right. He's gonna blast it through that bottom though. They love blasting the water through. It's got to be fun.
Yeah, what do they care?
Just messing with other people.
Yeah, I mean, Tom's right. He's like, don't blame them. They have their job. Their job's on the outside. All right, check in your cameras. Yeah, I should have kept my hair long. I see guys with
Throwback.
long hair now, and I'm like, I want long hair.
Oh man, Trav was thinking about growing his hair back out.
He could.
But then he went to go get his hair cut, and his regular guy wasn't there, and this guy cut his hair so short.
Oh yeah, I hate
Oh.
that. I hate that.
So short.
yeah.
So for me, it was like COVID. Just okay, we just don't
let it go.
do haircuts
And you
anymore.
have curly hair, which is cool.
And also just for what I do as a
Yeah,
an
don't
art
tell.
model.
Don't tell
Oh,
anybody.
oh,
Don't tell
yeah.
anyone. We'll get there.
Yeah, gotcha.
Good morning, everybody. I'm going to say hi to the chat room real fast. Let's see who's here. Shelly's there on the UK. She's always here. She just got off work. Shelly, how was your day? How's Liverpool doing, Sam? Was your hubby
Good.
been? Yeah, they've been
Yeah.
doing good, I think. Arsenal's doing well. I'm back into EPL pretty hard. Let's see here. You guys got the text? Everybody got the text?
I didn't get a text.
Oh, you didn't get the Tom and Dan text?
I don't know. Maybe I did.
Good to see everybody.
Oh yeah, I did it.
Oh, you're still working? Oh my God. Sorry, Shelly. I thought you were coming to Florida next week. Are you going to drop by and say hi? You're always welcome to. Stop by and say hi. I did get the text. It was perfect. Goes to Minute Bull grew his hair out during COVID as well, Ralph. Have you met Ralph
You
yet?
gotta sign
Yes.
up.
Oh, yeah, you did meet Ralph. Is Ralph short for anything?
No.
Like Sam and I were talking
That's what
about
I was
that.
wondering. Yeah.
Like, yeah, I've never. I think you're the only Ralph I've like met.
So yeah, everybody kind of seems to think that it's short for Raphael, but
Yeah,
it
it's
is not.
not.
It's
Yeah.
it's a totally different name. Like the meaning of Raphael and the meaning of Ralph, they're
Nothing close. Yeah,
not
we
even
just-
close.
We just went on that journey. Did you know that? I would have gotten that one dead wrong because I guess I would have assumed that most guys named Ralph are Ralph Fiel, which it doesn't make any sense, but you just do it.
Yeah.
I had a buddy in high school named Ralph.
Oh,
I grew up
Ralph.
with a kid named Ralph.
God, I never had a Ralph.
But Ralph short for Raphael would make more sense than the fact that Dick is short for Richard. Where did that come from?
I don't know.
Where did that come from?
That is a
Who
weird
did
one.
Why is there any correlation whatsoever
There
between
is.
Dick and Richard? You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't. Look that up, Sam. See
I
what,
think we've done this before.
Yeah.
Well, glad to have you here, Ralph.
Glad
Likely
to be here.
originated in the Middle Ages as a rhyming slang for Rick.
Rick rhymes with Dick, me Dick. All right, there it is. Yeah, everything.
No
goes
idea.
back- Everything comes back to Dick.
And everything makes more sense
and
when
they
you say it
said
with a British
same as
accent.
with like William and Will and Bill.
Yeah, my daughter will hear
Robert, Rob, and Bob.
My daughter will hear the word Willie and go, Willie is a penis.
Oh my God.
Yeah, she whispers it too, like Haley Joel Osment from Sixth Sense, which was about penises. That movie.
I've let cursing go too far in the household.
Ah, yeah, they're
And-
using the C word for girl parts. Yeah.
I'd like to know when it went too far.
We've told you this, by the way. This is what I did say. You went too far.
Now the boys do ask if if they can curse in front of us, and then we're like yes, and then and Mac's like, "Can I curse right now?" And we're like yes. He's like, "Motherfucker!"
God damn.
He said "motherfucker," and then I was like,
But like, for what reason? Just to say it? There was no.
No,
like
there
he didn't
was
like stub his toe or.
there was some reason
Oh.
I can't remember. We were by the pool. I don't know. He mad
These
at something.
motherfuckers. These
I
some of the
don't know.
other kids. Some of other kids are getting
And
in his
then I was
pool.
like-
They're climbing the fence. He's like, "Get these motherfuckers out of here!"
And
Jeez.
so I was like, I guess. I mean, he asked.
He was talking about some of the kids in his class. He called them lazy motherfuckers.
You know.
That's a funny story.
I never.
My daughter won't even say the word stupid still, man. I can't even get her to do anything fun like that.
It's fine, but they will slip up eventually at
Yeah,
school
yeah.
or.
Yeah. It is fine, but it's going to be one of those things where it's like, did you need to do it? You didn't need to do it.
What?
You're growing them up too fast.
Well,
Taking away their
they're still
innocence.
No, they're
babies
just
in
babies
every
that
other.
curse.
Yeah.
All right, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
That makes more
They
sense.
can't cook They can't do nothing. They'll starve if
They're
they
like the
spend
baby
out
in
there.
Who Framed Roger
Then,
Rabbit.
then I'm going to point out. This is the warm up, by the way. We have to
Oh,
warm
yeah.
up.
Smoke a cigar,
Okay,
but
I'm
they
going to
shit
point
their
out
pepper.
then we're both doing a pretty poor job because
Yeah,
my
yeah.
daughter is strict with everything but can't do anything fucking kid-like. And your boys are yelling motherfucker and partying down, but they're not
Yeah.
anything. They're just like babies. What?
Yeah.
We gotta fix this. It's
Just wait.
not right.
Just wait till like they get in trouble for something that's not like I remember one time in like 5th grade I got in trouble for saying the word freak in class.
Whoa.
And like teacher was like on your feet and apologize to the class. I was like I had no idea what I was apologizing for. I was like what did I do wrong? You know what you said.
You
and I
said
was like
freak.
Yeah, that's it. Well, she goes, you know what you said. And so I said it again because I was like, that's not a bad word. I was like, I said freak. Don't say it. And like,
I
she's,
like that.
because apparently it was short for fuck. So I was like, oh, well, I mean, yeah, but not
Freak
really.
is short
like,
for what? For
Well,
like,
it's just a alternative to
Like,
fuck.
instead of
It's
saying, like-
yeah.
yeah.
oh, like when I say mother fudger or something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
Okay.
you would have gotten in trouble for mother fudger.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I got you.
And so now,
People
you
say what the freak, you know.
and
Suck my dork.
no
No one says that. No one says that.
Yeah.
Can you say that?
I'm gonna tell my boys to say it. All right.
You
This
end
is
up in
a suck my dork house.
you end up in a parent-teacher conference. You just stone cold look at the teacher. Why am I here?
Local podcaster's son.
Local podcaster's son is in trouble for telling the president to suck his dork. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
You want to start?
Oh, he just glitched McConnell. Wednesday 1.
Yes, Wednesday 1.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
It's the final days to get your ticket to Moe's Comedy Jam.
The final days.
It's Friday. I talked to Bustecker yesterday. He thinks it's going to sell out. In fact, probably by today.
I'm a little worried about him. He's asked me if I wanted tickets to this thing 25 times.
Yeah.
I think he's
me and
going
Daniel
crazy.
will be there.
Yeah, we're going, dude. I'm not going to miss this. I love me some Moe, and you should love you some Moe as well.
He bought free tacos for everybody. Also, all the proceeds are going to go to Yellow Brick Road. This is a charity event. So you come out to a great comedy show. David Jolly's going to be out there. He's coming in tomorrow.
It's also Mo supporting some of our favorite local comedians. I think it's really cool that he supports local guys and showcases them at one of the best venues you can see stuff at, which is Tuffy's Bottle Shop and Lounge. Also another great excuse to slide by there and see that little installation in beautiful Sanford, Florida.
Interested to see Captain Wright. Just because he's so young, I'll be amazed that he has the balls to do this.
Cool as a cucumber. Cool as a cucumber. And been doing it for a long time.
I forgot you haven't seen his stand-up.
I haven't.
Yeah,
I saw some on TikTok and stuff,
good.
but it's just amazing that someone his age is that comfortable on stage.
But not amazing when you see a really old comedian. Like a really, really old one, not amazing.
Well, I've never really seen a stand-up past 78.
What's the oldest stand-up we've seen?
The weatherman that we know, maybe
Fritz Coleman.
Fritz, but
maybe
he's
Fritz.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, maybe Fritz.
He still got it.
Yeah, you're right. I'll eat my words.
You don't get it for long.
No.
Eventually, you freeze.
It's a burst on stage, and then it's done.
Yeah. And then those who say that I'm wrong, look
You're
at
freezing
life.
right now. Look at him. He's freezing, telling you about the freeze.
You eventually die, so your brain eventually gets worse.
Okay, speaking of person whose brain is dying, Steven Segal.
Oh.
Where are we with Steven Segal? We have a guest here for our segment. Are you a fan of Steven?
Not at all.
Not at all.
Not
okay,
at all.
good. But then
I'm a fan. I'm a huge fan.
I'm a bigger fan now than I've ever been. And we're going to do it. Should I do it?
Yeah.
Because I've been keeping up with this.
Oh, new song alert?
This is a weird one. I've been holding this. It's been 3 weeks ago I wrote this. I'm already bored of this. I hate this song. All right, so here's the newest one. Let's do a little weird job. New song. Get your barbecue.
What do you do?
Like a dad barbecue song.
Tick tock, tick. What do you do? Tick tock, tick. What do you do? Tick tock, tick. What do you do? Slobs keep on working. Jobs on a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's funky, man.
Slobs keep on working. Jobs on a Wednesday. I look just like Steven Segal. Karate pig, big Steven Segal. I can barely lift my leg. I look just like Steven Segal. Jet black hair. Oh, I am disgusting.
There's an old Zen story of two monks that were walking across the bridge. And the junior monk said to his teacher, he said, "What is the Buddha nature?" And the older monk picked him up and threw him in the water. You know?
There you go. There you go.
I was waiting for the hair at the end.
Wiser words have never been spoken. So there's that, you know. He threw the monk in the water.
You can tell any story and just mention a monk involved to try to get some sort of cred.
Yeah,
it could be the worst
he
thing.
forgot the entire. You can look up that entire parable that he was trying to pass on as a little nugget of wisdom, and he just really screwed it up.
I like having so much confidence that when you forget what you're even saying,
power through it.
That you still confidently finish, even if it has no.
And
You're
then you
not
look at
get
that
nervous
person,
and like,
and
all
then,
right,
and then you look at the person that you messed up. You messed up the entire parable. You messed up the entire thing. The nugget of wisdom has been torched, and you still looked at the person like, you got it, right? You got it, right?
I just gave it to you.
Did you get it? You didn't get it, did you? Let's do it again.
Ralph is here. How you doing, Ralph?
Hello.
Good to see you, Ralph.
Yeah, great to be here.
So, Ralph, what is your weird job?
So I work as a nude model, figure model, fine art model, however you want to put it.
Oh, you're a pervert! Hold on.
Yes.
Pervert.
I just show up and show my naked body to people.
All right.
Know it.
All right. So, how did you get into nude modeling? Did someone ask you?
I have no idea. It just happened. No, it is one of those jobs. People ask me, how do you get into it? Like, objectively, how does one get into it?
Normally it's other perverts.
And
like, hey, I want to be able to show my penis to everyone, so help me out, brother.
But the way it happened for me, because I still have no idea how you, like, break into it. But for me, I was working my day job with a very close friend of mine who also worked at my day job with me at the time.
Hey, you got a smooth penis.
And so at the time, her name is Crystal Dombrowski, and she's a local artist. And at that time, she was working part-time as an artist, full-time at the day job that we both at the time worked together. And then I was full-time doing that, and just the rest of my time just kind of working out and trying to stay in shape because I'm, post-divorce life, so that's what you do. You just work out all of the time,
Tom's getting that out of the way before the divorce.
Dude, you're looking ripped, dude. You're looking
good.
good.
Right?
Yeah.
He looks
seriously.
Good. I think you could showcase it, man.
Are you going to start modeling?
You could be the next Ralph.
I'll recruit you.
If you do it pre-divorce, you don't have to waste a bunch of time.
Yeah, exactly.
Then you're like, I'm never going to get laid until.
Because if you enter and then you've got a lot of work to do, all you're going to get is slam hogs. But if you want to weed through those and get to the good stuff early, you got to do some planning.
So as I was saying, working the day job, and my friend who is an artist was like, Ralph, just out of the blue, you ever think about being a model? And I was like, what are you talking? And she was like, well, you work out a lot, and you sculpt your body, and you're in pretty good shape. And so, of course, at work, like not wanting this to be an HR thing, she just had to start backpedaling. Like, I'm not hitting on you or anything. Really sweet. I'm
sorry for what I said.
but
it's fine with women.
Really. I am reporting no one.
It doesn't work the same way.
We all like
so.
I don't know.
Everybody should tell me how beautiful I am.
So I was like, nah, and the funny thing is, I had actually years ago, kind of talked with a talent agent because I wanted to kind of break into.
I'm gonna make your penis a star.
And she just trashed me. She told me the art or
You'll never be anything in this.
Oh yeah, exactly. Literally told me go home and put egg on my face. So I disgusted this one. Yeah. She literally told me go home and put egg on your face.
You'll never work in this town.
And so now years later, my friend Crystal is you should be a model, and I'm just like, what are you talking about?
I'm gonna show that old lady. I'm gonna dust off my bikini.
So I told her that story, and she's like, no. I'm not talking about fashion or any of that. She's like, I mean, like artists would want to draw you. And so that just turned into a conversation. She's like, well, come by my art studio sometime, and just try it out. So I did. And it was just a really cool experience to just kind of be working
Tom,
with...
you look stunned.
Well,
you were laughing inside. You were laughing inside. I can see it.
There's a lot of things to unpack here, including the fact that they turned up the pressure washer during your story, which I immediately got mad at.
It actually helped me. Like, it brought me more into the story.
It was like, I was like, why'd you turn it up?
Wow, I mean, the story went up. I felt like it was a natural cadence of the story.
A couple things.
Okay.
One, if this was the sexes were reversed in this scenario, I'd be extremely inappropriate and creepy to keep.
Yeah, you can't do that.
We're like,
you ever thought about being a nude model? Like, I said that to every woman I meet, and I'd be arrested in like 5 seconds.
And then second,
the irony that you guys have tried to convince me to start an OnlyFans for the past month.
No, hold on. We've encouraged you if you want to do it.
And that is totally different somehow.
Yeah, that's entrepreneurship.
Not
that's
creepy at all.
We're trying to get you rich.
Yeah, exactly.
You could pay me and make me rich.
Too hard, way too hard. Too much paperwork.
And then also, like, with her just continuing to ask you like if you ever tried being a model or whatever? Like,
well, it wasn't like a continue. Like that was all in the confines of just like one 15-minute conversation. So it wasn't like she was like continuously harping on. We were just kind of having a conversation at work. And
there's
so
because
we're not getting you in trouble. You're fine.
I feel like there's other reasons that she must have picked up on because with
What do you mean?
Okay, so
well, give me another reason.
When you're a nude model as a male, right?
Yes.
One, I guess a selling point is your physique, right? Which you could obviously tell.
But I don't
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily. No, you're exactly right.
Well,
I feel like most aren't.
Most aren't.
Most are like normal.
So I mean, honestly, in the art modeling community, like it is kind of one of those, and it sounds cliche to say, but it is very true. All types welcome. There's old men that aren't in great shape. There's
the
women of all
is
sizes.
to draw different types of bodies.
Exactly. Yes.
Must have your bulldog ass as my muse.
I will take a poll
And that happens too.
with all our bearded fatzos that we have listening to us and ask them if they've ever been approached to be a male model.
Right. I know what you're saying.
I bet there are more bearded fatzos that are art models.
100%.
They are, but his point is they're not being asked to do it. They're doing it because they choose to do it because they're big fat perverts.
All male models are fatzos. Is that what you want me to say? That's not what I see. Anyway, but also there's another aspect to male model which you can't notice from the outside, but there's an energy you get, and you're putting it off, Ralph.
Yeah, he's outgoing.
And so does Pete Davidson and other. You get what I'm saying? Is there's a there's a D energy here that Ralph has, Pete Davidson has, other dudes that are in your category of body type. I don't know if it's the skinny, whatever the big D energy is.
Right.
And
are most of the models you see, are they of ample area down there?
I mean,
it's not elevator button. You gotta have something.
I'm gonna imagine. I mean, based on what we were just told, that most of the guys that do nude modeling are big fat bearded fatzos. I would imagine that there would be a higher percentage of elevator buttons, just based on the stats.
So the penis size thing is kind of a non-issue.
You didn't have to say it like that. Gross, dude. Gross. Straight gross, Ralph.
It can't be a total non-issue.
No, it really, believe it or not, really is. I mean, the majority
at that point,
of
you
people,
just draw women. You just draw all women.
Well, I a lot of times I notice that they don't like to necessarily draw it, but they definitely like to draw the muscle structure. And
they
then
draw the essence of it. It's like a LaCroix.
Well, yeah. No, you're
it's
exactly
the
right.
essence of the penis.
Yes, that's exactly it. Like you get the essence of it. Like when they get to that part, they'll kind of smear down the chalk in the drawing or whatever, and then it's just out of.
I have noticed that in a lot of new drawings.
Yeah.
I just stayed in an Airbnb when we were in Atlanta, and the woman that owned it, like we figured it out through like snooping, with all the different crazy art on the walls, that this woman was like a really amazing artist, like a really good charcoal artist.
Yeah.
And almost every one of and I'm sure she chose this because there's family staying there and stuff like that. But most of the models, when you did get to like their genitals or like even their breasts, you're not seeing very much of the actual detail.
It's like a smoky haze.
Yeah,
at that
you're seeing
point.
more of the fluid form, which
Yes.
is, I guess, what you're saying now.
So you start at the bottom and then it just goes, it like fades
kinda
into
just
smoke.
kinda takes out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
A lot of
Smoke
times
paint.
with the charcoal, it fades into what looks like a smoky image, which is artistically really neat. And so
I wish mine did that in real life. I wouldn't be quite as disgusting when I was walking around if it didn't have all the details.
So I want to know about your first time at being a male.
You never forget your
nude
first
model, because what I've seen in television shows and movies is there's like usually some studio set up.
Yes.
There's a bunch of women with like easels and
There's men too.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, saying I'm in the movies.
You're traditionalist.
yeah. I'm telling you, in the movies.
It's usually a scene in 40-Year-Old Virgin, and it's all wet right.
Yeah.
And then you walk up, and then there's a crate. And then I don't know if you
A
come out.
crate. That's all you got is a crate.
Let's talk about
put a sheet over it. I'm not sitting on a dirty crate.
Tell me about your first experience.
So again, my first experience in the realm at all was actually posing for Crystal, my friend who kind of recruited me into it.
Tom's wife.
And so she just had me come over to the studio and kind of ran me through the whole thing. As far as what it's usually like to be an art model. They do a pose for this long, try this, try that, and then she was so after that she was like, well, what did you think about that? And I just found it so amazing to see the art that was being produced just kind of hanging out in a room with a friend of mine and striking poses. So she introduced me to another friend of mine named Megan, who was looking for somebody to help her out. She's also an art model who was working with artists, Eddie being one of them, actually.
Oh, yeah, our buddy Eddie. Love that guy.
Yeah. But that was still a clothed session that they recruited me for, just kind of a costumed session.
Put this on. You're Batman.
And then, it's funny that you say Batman because I actually did a bit for that artist group where I was just completely body painted everything and had my friend Crystal created a pair of wings for me, and I wore a little loincloth and did kind of a gargoyle session. And it was kind of a hit.
Gargoyle session. Every session with my wife's a gargoyle session. I'm the gargoyle.
Ladies love the gargoyle.
Yeah, I perch on her and scare away the bats.
So we did that, and then that was kind of a hit, and that
we love
session,
you, gargoyle.
it really was, yes. And so then my name got out amongst the art community as that guy that did the gargoyle session.
Big
Your
gargoyle
rifle, Ralph.
So
gargoyle rifle.
It's hard to say gargoyle Ralph.
Yeah, it is.
Big D gargoyle Ralph.
I'm curious to what's the process? Do you come out nude?
No, he's in a
Just
robe.
robe?
He's in a robe.
So it is a robe, actually, yes.
Yeah. Is it stolen from like the Four Seasons or something?
No,
or
I've always been that guy that just kind of had a bathrobe.
Really?
Yeah.
You have a bathrobe?
You look like a bathrobe
guy. You do.
It's a maroon-colored bathrobe, you know.
And with the hair, you know, like you kind of look like got a Kramer like bathrobe in. Or something,
yeah.
you know? Big D Kramer.
So when I got recruited to first model Nude for Creole School of Art in Winter Park, that was kind of the thing like, be sure you bring a robe, I was still new to it.
All I have is the kimono.
Yeah.
Little kimono.
A lot of women have the kimonos. That one's
My dad
popular.
used to wear a tiny little kimono, like a little blue silk. My dad had a tiny...
They did that in the 70s.
Yeah, it was a thing. He also had the terry cloth skirt that men wore while they smoked cigarettes by the pool. My dad would wear a tiny terry cloth skirt. He had a necklace, chest hair, and he smoked a cigarette by the pool and a tiny skirt.
And a waterbed, right?
We were not a water. My
See,
dad thought
the
waterbeds
kimono
are for
should
gays.
come with the waterbed for some reason.
My dad thought those were gay.
So you walk. How many people are in the room painting you?
Again, that can vary. It might be a session. So there's open studio sessions, which is kind of just groups of artists in the area that all get together on a Saturday or a Friday or a Sunday or something and hire a model like me to pose for them, and then they'll create their paintings. Sometimes you'll see oil paintings done right there in the studio.
Wow.
One of my favorite pieces of art that I've ever been featured in was a local artist, John Nadeau, who did an oil painting just right there at the Creole School of Art in like 2 hours, and it's a masterpiece. I'll show that to you guys later if you want.
We're going to bring up the paintings. Are they on mine?
Okay. We're going to bring them all up and zoom in on them.
I don't think we can show them on Twitch.
I want to look at them and then look at Ralph.
So John...
Creepy.
I want to stare
Ralph is fine with it.
I want to stare at the painting, and then I want to reach over with my left hand and hold your hand. Like while I'm looking at it.
Do they have music going on? Is there a TV on in the background?
It's like a MySpace
No
page.
TV.
You put on a song while you're looking at
quiet.
Sometimes music and sometimes quiet.
What do they put on, like Goody Mob?
Usually like classic music, Spanish guitar music.
I blew my own joke. I wanted to say Crime Mob, Sam. I wanted to do Crime Mob.
So what's the you get up and stand there and
do you have to
pose that the who tells you the pose?
Okay, good question.
Madonna.
So a lot of times that's usually more so up to the art model, whatever they kind of bring their performance, if you will.
So if you like bend over and spread it, I mean, I feel like
if you do,
that'd be hard to stand for that long, though.
Well, they're gonna be, but I'd give it a shot.
This is called Ace Ventura talks with his butt.
And this is why we can't talk art with you, Tom.
94.
La 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 la.
Only the best references are coming in.
Man.
So yeah, I mean, it's kind of the art. It's kind of the art model's responsibility to know where your butthole is when you're in the room.
Calm down. Guy's a lunatic. My God, are you drunk?
But you got to know what pose you're giving, and
How long do you what's the longest pose you've held?
Longest I've ever held was probably around, well, so if I'm doing like just a portrait where I'm sitting very comfortably, I'll go for like a full hour.
Okay. That's a long time.
But that is a long time, and a lot of, even sitting comfortably, like that can be a challenge. Typically, your longer poses, like if you're doing what's called a long pose session, you'll do 20 minutes in a pose, 5-minute break. Go back to that same pose for another 20 minutes, 5-minute break, and on and off throughout the duration of your 2 to 3 hour session with those artists. So they're trying to capture that image, that pose. If you're doing what we call a short pose session, it kind of varies throughout, and that's more about giving poses that are high action, a lot of power. A lot of times
muscle structure type stuff where you're doing
muscle structure is probably going to be more for the longer pose because they're looking for detail, versus the overall action. So the short pose, you're going to do something where you're reaching out and they're getting the overall.
I'm reaching
essence.
for an apple.
Yeah, actually.
They do a lot of apples.
I do it. Yes,
forever
yeah.
It's always like a peen. And
I've
an
been
apple.
found out. Yes, lots of apples. If I need,
like,
what do I do?
Can't use a banana. Sorry, they have 2 bananas in the shot. Do you? Sorry, I'm just trying to make Tom laugh. Do you, when you're doing this, do you take any consideration or thought into the hair on the top of your head or even your body hair?
So
do you have to groom yourself in a certain way?
You don't have to, but I choose to. Yes.
Right.
So like I because my brand, so to speak, is, I'm known for having a pretty good muscle structure and good muscle definition. So I do kind of try to make sure that I shed my body hair. So a lot of the shaving and manscaping and so on. That way, my muscle structure is popping a little bit more.
We're sponsored by Manscaped.
Promo code.
I should get that.
I can get you one of these. I can get you one of these beauties. You show up on the set. And just pick it right in front of the models. Nothing more impressive than when you're like, is this okay? Hold on, I can change it. Zip, zip.
But then as far as the hair on my head, I find that just keeping it wild and crazy also kind of offers a certain level of challenge to the artists that some of them really relish the challenge. Like, oh, your hair is fighting with me. And
draw your head.
Yes. So
Ralph, what's interesting to me is always in the details. So
devil's in the details, Tom.
When you walk out and you're wearing a robe, and then there's all the people ready to paint you,
you got to shimmy shake it down a little bit to make sure that they're not sticking.
Okay.
Then when you disrobe and then expose yourself. Is there any audible?
They all gasp collectively.
Or like,
they know what they signed up for. Tom.
You know what I like?
But I mean, there's got to be
Sam, you know what I like, and then you don't get this anymore, and it's a phrase underused. You know what I want? I want a great Scott. Nobody says that. I want a great Scott.
Well, just to break the tension.
Yeah. So actually, this question gets back to something I should have said to answer your first question about. Tell me about your first time posing nude, because I found that one of the weird dynamics in your first time posing nude is that it's uncomfortable to get redressed. Just for a second.
What a stay like this.
Well,
I don't want to put clothes on. This is the new
because
me.
at that point, that's the part where it feels awkward is putting clothes back on because it's like, well, I just spent 20 minutes in complete nudity.
Like,
now
the
I
job's
have to
done,
hide
and
it.
now I have to be like, oh, don't look at me.
Yeah. So it just seems weird to be like, oh, now I have to have, the society's shame about all this after it just being natural. So my first time posing at Creole Day, you had the robe on at the beginning of the session come out, and you said a crate, and a small stage is kind of, and it usually looks like just a wooden crate. Sometimes it actually is.
Oh my God.
Well, it's a crate.
Sometimes it really is a crate.
You know what I would like? Because I'm smaller, I would like for people to have me sit inside like a radio flyer wagon.
So
like a little red wagon
so
for me.
I'm up on the stage, posing nude, and they're all drawing, and then so the alarm goes off for the first 5-minute break.
Excuse
and
me, sir, your diarrhea.
and so the moderator who was in charge of kind of keeping the time and in charge of the session, he kind of come up to me, and because he just came up to me and was like, you can put the robe back on. So
he's giving you the.
So I was afraid to do it too rushedly.
Put the robe on. What the hell are you doing?
There's funny stories about
You're
that
caught
too.
up in the magic. You're caught up in the magic.
But so it was that moment where I realized, like, oh yeah, I mean, I know that is protocol, but it seemed weird to me to be like, okay, now this is normal. That's not normal
Stop
outside the other side of that
Stop
door.
eating the
And
Cheez-Its.
now-
You're
and,
eating
you know,
Cheez-Its.
So there is that weird dynamic about something that is normal in regular society being not normal
What if
there
you have an
and
itch?
inside out.
What do you have an itch?
You just power through it, man.
I don't think I could because I get itches down there.
So there are, and again, that's one of those things. Like, so you're not necessarily expected to be a statue for 20 minutes. Like, they understand if, you know, you might shift a little bit or something like that. But I personally try not to, and it's part of the thrill of the challenge. You're like, oh, there's an itch. I'm just gonna friggin' power through it and not scratch that itch and mind over matter type of stuff, which might be something like my first job out of high school, I was Army infantry. So, you know, that mentality of just powering through things is just kind of a part of my own personal philosophy, I guess. So,
Have you ever had somebody draw you where you looked at what they drew and you're like, no?
So, great question also there, because that is one that kind of, I feel like as an art model, if I'm going to be offended by what shows up on the paper or the canvas, then dude, get another job. Like,
Gotcha.
like you shouldn't have it in. What they do is what they do. That's their universe. Is that paper? I'm just there. My universe is the stage, the crate.
Yeah.
And,
So as long as you
my
sit
time in
still
there.
and offer yourself the way that they need it to be, you've hit it out of the park.
Exactly.
All
yes.
right.
And then what they do with what I give them is completely on them, for them, and so I'm not going to be offended by what shows up. And yes, frankly, there have been drawings of me done that were not.
I am much larger than that.
But that being said, it does get cold in those studios. So,
Sure,
there's
yeah,
that too.
exactly. I knew that joke was coming.
All right, well,
yes.
now I got three things, Ralph.
All right.
One
used to do 5. Wow.
One is
Phoning it in.
you should definitely email the nude paintings of yourself to all your old Army buddies. Two, are the artists allowed to talk to you during this, or is that a faux pas? How does that work?
So it's actually a really, really close family type of community.
It's
so
casual, right?
So so like on those 5-minute breaks in between, I'm all about, you know, talking with the artists, talking about what they're going for. You know, sometimes they'll show you their piece if they're really proud of it, and like, oh hey, you know. So yeah, I am very comfortable talking with the artists. I imagine that because of the nature of things, some of the models might not be, but by and large, we're all a very
I mean, if
close
you're comfortable
community.
just disrobing in front of someone for an hour or so, I think you're fine, right?
Yeah, I would agree with
But
that.
then it's like, okay,
Or,
you
or you're
compartmentalize.
fighting so hard to get through it. I don't know.
But you
then
compartmentalize.
why keep doing it?
Challenge. I like to challenge myself.
Without, okay, I'm a nude model, but then the artist, then like it's weird for them to be small talking, like, say, hey, what do you do? Like, it's a,
What's the over under?
It's not weird to them,
It's
though,
not weird
'cause
to
that's
us.
normal.
No, yeah. We talk.
It's weird to you.
We don't. We don't only talk about the art. Yeah, sometimes it'll just be like, hey, you know, what's going on?
You been at Fazoli's yet?
Yeah.
Not even because you're nude, more because, well, that's part of it, but because you're the model that they're supposed to be drawing, and I think to myself, like, well, you're supposed to be sitting there solemn and not, like,
Cutting
interacting
off.
with them.
Right.
They can talk you small talk.
So,
you know, I don't
so
know.
I guess
to,
it depends
to your
on the
point,
room.
exactly, it does depend on the room because, you know, like there's going to be art schools like Creole Day where it's a lot of like just, you know, retirees that they had a career and now they want to learn how to do art, so they're taking these classes.
Creole Day?
Creole Day School of Art in Winter Park. CREALDE with a little accent over it. But then I also pose at the University of Central Florida in their art department. And so, you know, with them being students, yeah, you don't really socialize with the students.
Right.
That's just not really
unprofessional.
Done. Whereas
I just feel like it's like at a strip club, you're asking the stripper, like, so you go to Valencia?
I do like that you're comparing
That is a
this to strip
completely
club.
different dynamic.
I am glad he's comparing it to strip club. I want to hug you right now. I'm so glad you said that.
No, by all means, open up that can of worms because, and a lot of people do make that association, and I understand it because nudity is, that's
especially
kind of
in
the common
America,
thing.
we seem to have a struggle with it at
Yes,
times.
yes.
So you were telling that you've had people that maybe get into situations where they're aroused. You maybe alluded to, or that has happened, or
so not to me, but I have heard kind of those horror stories from other artists that like, oh well, back when I was in art school, there was a guy.
It's only a horror story, like. for the guy. Like, I'm trying to figure this out.
And then while you're painting it, you're like, oh, what's happening?
Like, I don't even know.
It happens kind of slow.
Yeah, it does. It comes and goes.
So that's one thing. You got to choose you got to be really smart about choosing your poses. You don't want to get too comfortable where you fall
I can't
asleep,
think of a pose that naturally
then,
I could get in that would bring me to that. You know what I mean?
But if you fall asleep.
Oh, that's happened?
Not to me, but I've heard story. I've heard tale, my friend.
A guy fell asleep.
Where
dude?
a guy fell asleep, and then it happened, and like one of the students just like asked the art teacher. This was like in an established school
Hit it with a
years
ruler.
ago, back in the 80s. At least that's what I was told. And so like the teacher was just like, draw what you see.
Yeah, I like the teacher's like, this is your new muse.
But again,
draw it.
But again, that's back in the 80s. I heard of another story where a male art model was awake and became aroused, and they asked him like, you have a little bit of a problem with that? And he very proudly was like, no, I do not. And they're like, yeah, they just didn't ask him to come back. It became, at that point, he was there to be a
fired,
sexual exhibitionist. Yeah. So he went home to his mom's basement. And,
So speaking of that, there's the opposite of that. You
Yes.
mentioned being cold in the room,
Right,
and there's a
right.
reason why they're in like pornography. There's fluffers and
Yeah,
things like there's biology that happens to men.
Sure.
And I can imagine that it actually changed.
The ups and downs of the male
You're
body.
really obsessed with the size.
It'll
He's not the only one.
He always has been. He's a size king.
It'll
I didn't know that.
It'll change the art piece a little bit.
It will.
You know what I'm saying? So you can control
Like you
everything
raise
else.
your hand, you're like, I need more Pete.
Which is probably why a lot of times when you get to that part, it goes into a smoke.
I think we answered the question.
Yeah.
What is the most? What would you say is the most difficult part of this? Is it getting the work, holding the poses, or and what brings you back?
Probably holding the poses. And what brings me back again? That whole like I like a challenge. You know?
Yeah.
It is
weird. It's definitely a weird job.
So you'll have where for those 20-minute poses, you'll get into a pose and you'll be like, okay, this is a safe pose. And then 5 minutes in, like, oh, I don't have a right leg anymore. It's gone to sleep, And so, okay, here I am for the next 15 minutes of my life, just with a painful right leg. And then the alarm goes off for your 5-minute break. You walk around and get some feeling back into your leg. Okay, back into the pose at the end of that.
I'm too jittery.
And then,
like, I bounce a lot, and you don't want to see what's bouncing. You know what I mean? Like, I bounce my left leg. I've been doing it the whole time we're doing the show. I'm trying to put myself into your weird job, and I can't. Like in this pose right here, this is my most normal pose, which I think has also ruined my hips. I sit on my right leg.
Yeah.
In like it's just I don't know. It's just it's a habit, right?
Yeah.
And like this is not a good pose. If you saw me with no clothing on, this is a horrible pose.
Oh,
so
yeah,
here's the thing, though.
that.
Actually, it isn't. So that's the
you're
funny
so
thing.
Sweet.
There's no such thing as a safe pose that's
No
going to be a
stupid
good
questions.
pose.
That's what Tom said.
So like
I did not
never
say
said
that. There's lots of most of them are stupid.
So
most questions are stupid.
So if you're going to give a good pose, you want to give something where your legs are doing different things. As a matter of fact, the first time that I posed for Eddie was one of the people that really kind of keyed me in on what artists like to see. They like to see some sort of a twist going on. You want to see something going on in like the negative space. So like that would be like if your arm is like on your hip, that space I'm a little teacup. The part inside the teacup is your negative space. So you want to do stuff that presents those facets to the artist. The more you do that, the less comfortable it's going to be holding it for 20 minutes. So you're not doing this for the comfort. One of my pet peeves with seeing sometimes other art models that really are very full of themselves in how good they look, and they think they're just going to ride on that. It's not about that. You want to give a good pose. So if you're just sitting square in your chair where your legs are straight and your arms are straight and your back is straight and you're comfortable, well, that's boring to draw.
Right.
But then something like sitting on when you're on your right leg, there's a direction going there. There's another direction going there.
Of light that are hitting my leg.
Yes.
Yeah, I got
So
you.
something more dynamic with different things going on makes for a better pose. It doesn't make for a comfortable pose.
Right.
But hey, we're not paid to be comfortable.
You get paid
getting the 3-point stance.
Exactly.
Joey Bosa.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then if somebody's behind you, then there's your butthole.
He's
So
got the money.
Point it towards the window.
Point it down. Point it down like gun safety. Point it down. Always down.
It's funny that you say that because that's been one where like I was in a kind of a power pose, so to speak.
Power pose.
And one of the people in the studio was like, hold on, let me just check something. And then she literally said, "Okay, no, asshole, you're good." And it was because I was tucking my tailbone down. Oh, yeah, sorry.
No,
yeah,
you're good. You're fine.
Oh, tucking your tailbone.
I can't tuck my tailbone.
And it was kind of that thing to make sure that it was pointed down. You know, again, back to my Army days. I guess keeping your muzzle pointed down.
What are you got going on down there? My God. Yeah, just with a little bit of talk. I'm not that flexible.
So, now let's get to how much
Payment.
does this pay?
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
So, like per session, what I have no idea.
I feel like you should get paid well for this.
Sam, what would you guess if you were gonna like?
We don't do a guess very
I'd
often,
say
but I like that.
$250 an hour.
I think that's too low.
Okay.
I think I think she's close.
I'm willing to work for you, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's probably high. Yeah, man, you don't get paid enough.
Well,
I bet it's like I bet maybe $75 an hour.
Not to go back to porn, but
$250 sounds good.
I do know male porn
because
artists,
it's not for me. It's not just even about the
they're paid
nudity. It's
less.
the fact that you just sit uncomfortably
Yeah.
for an hour. You got limbs falling asleep.
Well, yeah,
I need you
would
guys
say-
representing me. I need you guys representing me.
You don't have a nude model union? Come on.
Well, I would say
No,
it's
we should.
difficult, number one, but number two, I would say you are truly providing something that not everybody
body
is willing to do.
contortionist.
No, but just the freedom of being able to walk into a room and drop your clothes. Not
Yeah, most
everybody,
people can't.
right? You're already like doing something super weird, so I got to put a premium on that. The fact that you're able to do that, I feel like just being able to go in there comfortable and drop your clothes is worth $100 right off the top. So then I'm going to give you more. That's why I was thinking closer to like $300, $500, something like that. But I think
And is it a base rate, or can the artist tip you if they think you're a good model and you've done
these are
good
good
poses?
questions.
Or does that
Valid,
become
yes.
weird if you tip because then it's less art and more strip?
So, one of the funny things is I've noticed in my time doing what I do is the harder I work, the less I get paid. The easier jobs have been the ones that have paid really well, and the jobs where I was like, man, I worked my ass off that night. Not so much.
And it was like an art. You were doing it for the sake of art.
And yeah, that is kind of what it boils down to. So I wish I made hourly what y'all were talking about. It's all over the place.
Because again,
it's
if you're only
absolutely all
doing
over
it, and
the
this
place.
is why I would be your advocate. If you're only doing it for like, let's say 2 hours, I do feel like you should get at least $300 to be
Yeah.
naked
Well, hold
and
on.
uncomfortable for 2 hours.
And be a statue.
Yeah.
If you're not doing much, I mean.
Yeah, but not everybody's
There we
willing.
go.
You will do
Oh,
it.
you
Sitting
bastard,
there.
you.
I'm just saying.
That's my point.
This is where he
yeah,
starts
yeah.
crapping.
No, but he's usually.
Yeah, oh,
Like,
no,
working at
I knew that was
Taco-
coming.
Working at Taco Bell is way worse. I'm just
It
on
is.
paper.
As somebody,
It is.
well, I've done both. I've done all kinds
It
of things.
is, but
What's
everybody's willing to walk in there and make the taco where nobody sees you. But not everybody's willing to do what he does,
That's
and you
true.
got to put a price on that.
And so, yeah, I mean, it is all over the place. You'll have some
I'd
art
almost rather do
schools.
the nude model than work at the Taco Bell, though. Now that I'm thinking about it,
There are there
'Cause
are
I know
some
that
art schools.
the art people are going to be respectful to me, and they're
Very.
going to bully me at Taco Bell. They're going to be so mean.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to get bullied. They're
And
gonna
the
be
way
put,
the customers are now.
oh,
yeah,
and they
no.
put beans in my pants, and they're yelling at me. Yeah, I could know. I'm doing nude.
Artists are so respectful. Yes.
Yeah,
So-
'cause
so
they're
it-
there
it's
to-
such a wonderful community.
They're not there to screw around. Like, even our art friends that are in the chat room are having a hard time with us, sometimes even making jokes right now because they're serious artists.
Yes.
They take it
yes.
very seriously, and I get it.
But at the same time, I'm here for the jokes too. So I get it.
Wow, I mean, it is a weird job, dude. It
Yeah.
might be one of the
yeah.
weirdest ones we've had. Have you ever had anything happen to you?
Well, how much, Ralph?
All right. Yes. Back to that. Sorry. So some of the art schools, you're talking $20 an hour.
Whoa!
And
No.
then
See what I'm saying, man?
some other clients, you're talking about $100 an hour.
Yeah,
It's
$100
all over the
I mean,
place.
it should like no less than $100 an hour. That's like
Yeah.
I feel like that's the rule.
So
That's ridiculous.
Now, okay, this may sound very weird, but if I paid
No, it
you
doesn't, trust me.
$100 after the cameras turn off, will
Okay.
you get nude for us? like if that's your
I like
price,
this guy's style.
I'm just doing the
I mean,
math of
He's
business.
definitely gone crazy.
No,
Sam.
no, I'm just saying,
Are
is
we
that the price?
are we gonna do a photo shoot?
Or-
wait a
no,
minute.
no, I'm just- I just-
You're getting my hopes up now. I'm like, all right, I need more.
I'll give you $150.
Does it matter if I
My
take
check
pictures?
engine light is on right now. I have to go to the
Hey,
car shop.
my
I
check
need some
engine
money.
light's on, too.
Do I have to paint you for it not to be? Gonna just be like, here's $100. Get nude
nude.
So-
for 1 hour.
So
I'll
one
give
of
you
the,
$150 if you get nude and only show me and not Tom.
So, one of the clients that has paid quite well was for photo shoots.
Okay.
And photo shoots, I feel like tend to be more money because there's kind of a market there.
Yeah.
And it's real.
then you
as
also-
opposed to someone.
Oh, you were in the
chalk drawing
you were in
it.
the Kanye West school ads. I saw those.
And so one of the best clients that I have, they actually what they do is they'll do a photo session with you. It's about $100. So you'll be in the studio for 3 hours. You make $300, and you walk out with that money. Boom. What they do with those images, they put that on their website as reference photos for artists. So,
so you're doing
there are
educational materials.
Yeah,
now.
basically. And from that, there are paintings of me all over the world now.
Wow.
Yeah, there's I mean everywhere, and it's kind of fun
I would like to
because
scan you and 3D print you.
$100?
Deal. If you have a scanner that big, I'm down for it. I'm down for it.
I think that'd be funny though.
Yeah.
We should start scanning our guests and nude and printing them.
My joke question led to like a more serious question of like in your mind, do you compartmentalize it where you're like, this has to be for art purposes. I'm not gonna do this just for some lady hires you like to come over her house
likes my body
and just be nude and look at it or something. You know, like will you draw the line there, or is like a dollar's a dollar? I seen the shirts.
So I mean, yeah. So it's kind of a sliding scale with that. Yes, I'm willing to work for less money if I know that the art is going to be amazing, or if it's an artist that I really want to work with, and I really shouldn't have just said that out loud because now they're going to know that, and they're going to.
Well, no, but you care about
they're going to take advantage of it.
Okay.
But then again, like if. Money talks also. So, if it's like, well, I don't know what's going to come of this, but they're willing to pay me, great. And then I have also, I think we've all fallen victim to the whole, like, you're going to get great exposure. And so I've done those nights too.
Yeah. Oh, I tell people that all the time.
That's half our guests.
They know that's a trick.
Obviously, you've been listening to our show.
And so, so there's that where it's like, oh, I don't think I want to work for you again. And then maybe somebody that likes them will peer pressure you into it. And I don't know. And there's a certain event in town that happens every year so that they know.
All right, Daniel, bring up the nude pictures or paintings of Ralph. So
I don't
can
have
look
them.
at
I gotta get them.
Oh, well, actually,
Send me the link.
Some of them you can show. There's the one.
We won't show them on the camera.
Yeah, we won't put them on Twitch.
Yeah, this will be off camera, and I'll just look at them.
The one that it looks like I'm glowing is a oil painting by John Nadeau.
That one examples.
Is
Thank you, ma'am.
Amazing. It's such a beautiful piece of artwork, and you can see that on his Instagram page. He's a local artist, John Nadeau, who is honestly like you never hear about him in the Orlando Weekly Best Artist, but you should. He's the best artist in town.
Who would you rather draw, Tom? Ralph or Jelly Roll?
Well,
I think I'd rather draw Jelly Roll.
He's got a lot of tattoos, too.
It'd be really hard to draw.
Yeah, because there's mystery. Ralph, I've kind of put two and two together.
Ralph's a good-looking guy.
Yeah. I kind of would guess what is
that one. Well, okay, that one's actually from the.
God, I like that one. That one almost looks a little bit like
a horse.
This looks a little like Screech from Saved by the Bell.
It becomes a centaur.
Yeah.
So that one actually, I told you about the.
Was that lady on site too?
No, she wasn't actually. That was
holy
that was done. That
boobies.
was done from that one's Eddie. Eddie did that one.
Eddie.
Wow.
Yes, and as a matter of fact, that one needs to be sold to like a wine bar. The concept that we were doing
Drink
there,
my wine.
The concept that we were doing there was actually
aggressive wine label.
Look at this wine bottle down here.
Good Lord, man, you got a big old jug down there.
No, I think he was being really generous, really, to be honest.
Well, look at that! Look at that!
It happened to be laying on my thigh in a very nice.
Stop.
So that one's John's
That's
piece
good.
that is amazing.
Yeah, that's really good.
And
you can
honestly,
see all the different muscles in your abs and in like your torso.
Are you sitting on the crate? That's what I like.
Yeah,
Yes. yeah. I threw a blanket over a crate.
They put a sheet
Just like
on
you said.
it. They
Yes.
put a sheet on the crate.
I always bring my.
Oh my God! There's one.
Oh wow! Yeah, there it is.
That one was also one
There it is.
from the reference website.
No
one.
button there.
Yeah.
I was just saying.
Good Lord!
Hey,
That thing's hanging.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
one's
that's a good one.
local
Yeah.
artist
I
Libby
called
Smith,
it.
and that one's actually in a permanent installation in Athens, Greece.
Good Lord.
So as long as
really
that place is there in Greece, I'm immortalized, which
Well,
is a part of
That's
what
pretty cool, man.
that kind of pads the whole thing. Like, oh, if I only made $20 an hour at a school, but I'm immortal.
Yeah, I mean, you're
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
You're there for as long as a corporation doesn't paint over it.
I mean,
Yeah.
most people in this world don't have people wanting to draw them nude.
No.
And you're lucky to have that,
No.
Ralph. I think you've won the game of life.
You really did.
Because
That's
not
what
one,
it's all about.
not
If you only
once
knew,
in-
because I am not good at this game of life.
Not even my wife has requested to draw me nude.
Well, he's not getting
Nobody.
paid enough,
Yes.
so he hasn't
Yeah.
won quite yet.
Nobody at all. Anyway, Ralph, thanks so much. You got
Yeah,
anything
thanks
to
for
plug?
being here, man.
How
can people contact you?
So, I guess social media. My name's Ralph Cudworth. You can look for me.
I was hoping
on-
you'd say, like, you can find me at Draw Me the Pervert. I wanted some like great reveal that, like,
Really, what I really want to kind of plug is those local artists that I work with, though. John Nadeau, Eddie. Somebody buy that God of Wine piece that he did
and put it in your put it in your bar.
Yes,
There you
yes. It should be on every wine bar in,
It's
in the
very
city.
selfless.
And he should be selling them for
Yeah.
like $1,000 a pop. I want
It's
to
very
see. I want
cool
to see
of
my
you.
artists make money.
It's very cool of you to be like that to your art friends, and truly, I get the feeling you are doing this for the right reason. So thanks for being here, man.
That's right. Thanks.
Very nice to meet you.
Thanks, Ralph. We appreciate it. We'll be right back with more Corporate Time.
Awesome, man. That was really, really good.
Thank you.
You did a wonderful job. And those paintings are damn good. Where's this go, Sam?
That's Wednesday 1 and 2.
Thank you.
Dude, when is this? When do you
So
think
this
it'll
will air tomorrow night at 7 on Real Radio. Yeah.
I kind of assumed as much, but
Yeah.
Sometimes we're ahead.
Yeah, we're all over the place. Best to ask.
That's why I always ask. Man, pleasure meeting you.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming.
I gotta come out to the Bad Business Beer Fest.
Oh, right on. Yeah, it's gonna
very
be a
much
good one this
planning
year,
on
man.
it. So
Come on out.
yeah.
It will be a really good one this year because we're trying to get it, I don't know, a little more dialed in. And with everything that's been going on in Sanford and seeing that we had the potential to lose such great events there, we're not going to take it for granted and try and make it really good. Well, I think Paul figured it out by meeting with the mayor and everything, which seems really good. So, but yeah, they're just trying to make it fair for everybody. So it looks like they're on the right track now. So we'll see what happens.
Cool. Thanks, Ralph.
Yeah, thanks for being here, dude. Oh yeah, give him a shirt.
Oh, draw him with just a shirt on.
that would be a hilarious drawing to buy.
Right?
With just a Ralph with the shirt on, full dong out. That's a really good idea, Sam. We should pay Eddie.
Yeah.
And draw Tom.
And pay Ralph.
Tom. TC. Could we have
And Big Dick Millionaire
Could
art.
we have Ralph pose right there nude with just the shirt on? We'll pay him. And then have Eddie come in and we'll pay him and have him draw and then buy the piece and hang it in the studio. That's a good idea.
We could do, we'll talk.
You got my email, yeah?
Yeah, we'll be in touch, man. That'll be funny. I want to do more funny things. Yeah, you have, Christine. We've wanted to do with all the artists. I've always wanted to do like where all the
Well,
artists.
listen.
But it's got to be indoor.
Can't
No,
get a band,
I know.
a BDM band showcase to go on. I don't know if we can do an art showcase.
My next idea would be though to do it at like cause Sourglass. We've been wanting to do stuff there, but because I think it would be better inside than like an outdoor art market. But I thought it would be cool to have them have little tables where they could sell their stuff because we
Yeah.
have such amazing artists. Tons and I bet we have 25 artists that would do that. And I like
Did
y'all's
Kevin
art.
walk in? No.
I don't think so. Kevin Dean.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know he was coming in. That's great.
He was kind of last minute.
So that was one of the things I had planned too. But like, well, sometimes I'm not nude. Sometimes I'm already coming. Not there in the big blue house.
Thanks, dude.
See you, man. Take care, Ralph. You are. You're right. That's the right one.
So Wednesday 1 and 2. We can. Are we waiting for a guest?
Yeah, he should be here any minute.
Okay. And
He's going to be at Wow. Moe's
Mm-mm.
Comedy.
I've been doing that all. I did it all day yesterday, and I'm doing it again now.
Kevin Dean. Okay.
Also known as District 407.
Oh my God, Christine! My dream was to be a program director for a radio station. So I think I'm in sort of the same vein as you. What up, man?
How you going, man? Great head of hair, man.
Hey, nice to meet you, man. Thanks for
How are
coming
you?
here, man. I appreciate
Thanks
you.
for having
You
me.
want something to drink or?
Yeah, I'll take a bottle of water if you got it.
Oh, I hope we got bottled water.
Or I'll take hot sauce if you got it.
Well, we got a hot sauce, but we do have RO water. It's just not going to be cold, but it will be purified and great.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
I've got a LaCroix if you want that.
Yeah, we have LaCroix.
Okay. That's cool too.
Okay.
And we have Arizona iced tea. I don't know who even bought that.
This is great. Perfect.
Thanks for coming, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Come on in.
Yeah, you can grab a seat.
We'll get you set up.
All right.
We're going to put you right here. Oh.
All right.
You can either wear those or not. Your choice, man. I'm going to make it sound good, but whatever you're most comfortable with.
I'm gonna opt in to wear them.
We are live on Twitch and YouTube right now, so they can hear everything we're saying because
Sweet.
we run it weird like that.
Awesome.
But man, it's really nice to meet you.
I'm happy to be here, man. I've heard nothing but good things.
Oh, I don't know about that. Let's hope. Let's hope. It always scares me when people say stuff like that because I'm like, I don't know. I know how we really are.
I feel the same way. They're like, oh my gosh, I'm finally getting to meet Mr. 407 Kevin. I was like, you don't want to meet. Don't meet your heroes.
That's true. I have actively tried not to do that.
Yes.
And
absolutely.
it's worked out pretty well for me. All right.
Okay.
Let's see.
We'll do this for Tuesday 1.
I'm going to drop the nest down too because. Oh, right on.
I was like, I'm burning up in here now.
Yeah, man. That first segment always. I didn't know this, but you told me that. I didn't know Nest thermostats were like motion activated.
Ooh.
So if you're not in the room
Well,
with
what if I'm
it.
taking a nap?
Yeah, like I don't.
For a little bit,
It's
fucking stupid.
Why did they decide that was the thing? I don't need that ever. I've never needed that.
I think it's one of those
conserve
ideas that
energy.
sounds good on paper.
Yeah.
It sounds like, oh man, I'm really going to be conserving my energy.
Yeah.
Yeah, nah.
This is you, and just get about an
it
inch
can't
off
be
of it.
only for one room. That's the problem. You know,
Yeah.
so like,
Yeah.
if
Well,
you're in your bedroom too long and your AC turns off.
Well, I got too many thermostats as it is. You know, like they're all, and mine are all old. All right. Oh, that feels so good. Thank you, Sam, for putting that on. All right, Mr. Van, we're talking Mo Comedy Jam.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk Orlando and all of the little suburbs within it. All right, I think we're good.
I love me some Baldwin Park.
Oh man, do you? I live here, but I need to make fun of it more.
Yeah.
Because I don't like the people driving around here. They are real bad. Real bad. All right, you want to start, T?
Yep.
3, 2.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I ain't sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm Dan. I'm here. I
He
promise. I was like, oh,
he's
I'm so sorry. I
dead.
did. I have the glitch.
Sam is here. How you doing,
Hey,
Sam?
I'm good.
So this Friday is Mo's Comedy Jam at Tuffy's Music Box, and with us in studio, Mr. 407, Kevin Dean is here. How you doing, Kevin?
Oh my gosh, so happy to be here. Thank y'all so much for having me.
Man, we appreciate you being here.
So Kevin's going to be obviously performing at Mo's Comedy Jam. So Kevin, how did you become Mr. 407?
So I actually am from the Orlando area. I've lived in Central Florida my whole life, and I'm kind of a hoe. I have some hoe tendencies.
Yeah. We love those.
Yeah,
You should have been Mr. Ho 07.
yeah, exactly.
All right. I mean, still can be.
Yeah, it's not too late, you know.
Yeah,
it's not
let's do
copyrighted
it.
yet. But no, I just went on a cavalcade of terrible dates, and after one really bad date in St. Cloud, I was like, you know what? I need to make content about this. I was already doing stand-up, making content.
Yeah.
And I just made a video. I didn't think it was going to track. I didn't think anybody besides my friend group from where I lived would find it funny. But it just started getting shared and reposted, and everybody I knew, like teachers, guidance counselors, cousins, people I haven't talked to since the 2nd grade, they're like, everybody's sharing your videos in our group chat. And from that moment on, I changed monikers and just started making a series out of it.
Yeah, it like took off, man. Like
Quick.
for
Yeah.
real.
Yeah,
Like, 'cause,
yeah.
like those of us that work in, I guess, some sort of comedy capacity knew of you doing comedy.
Yeah.
But not that, right? Like,
Right.
And then when we saw that pop off, I'm like, oh man. And was it a conscious effort once you saw it get traction to go like, I have to try to put
more,
this
yeah.
lightning in the bottle.
Yeah.
I gotta do. Because most people don't get a chance to do that. I guess if you could walk us through like that
So
24 hours or 48 hours of how it happened and how you decided, I got to do something with this.
For sure. So I've been trying to like niche down for a long time. I'm very well documented on my social media as like, hey, if your content is for everybody, then it's for nobody. So I was like, okay, well, I love 90s cartoons, so maybe I'll do content about Arthur and X-Men. And then I was like, okay, no, that I don't want to narrow myself down in that bottle. I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll talk about dating. I love dating. So it just kind of made sense. And then it didn't ever occur to me that there was so much relatability in Central Florida dating. I always thought, hey, maybe you need to branch out so people in Albuquerque and Missouri know what you're talking about when they see your content. But it never occurred to me that there was so many people in Florida that was like, yes, dating is a crap show here, and you are relating to us so much.
And the fact that you break down, because Central Florida,
Tons.
it's vastly different between, like you said, like St. Cloud, Orlando, Hunters Creek, Baldwin Park. Like,
and you probably haven't even hit them all, right?
No, I think I still have so much to go. One of my first thoughts, fears, and anxieties was like, well, you're going to run out of content eventually. You're going to run out of places to talk about. And then it just opened my eyes to all the venues that wanted promo, all the restaurants that I could talk about, cities. And then hopefully I expand. I want to travel all over the country, and hopefully I do a dating in every city, state content for years to come.
You've kind of stumbled on something that you're, Tom, sort of a champion on, that it took us a while to kind of fully understand it, because I think in a lot of ways when we started our podcast, we were chasing that everybody podcast type of vibe too.
Yeah.
Or trying to chase the world. Like
nationwide.
Yeah.
Like,
you don't need to do that. I mean, what you were just talking about is basically our business model. I mean, we're a lot more powerful local than we are worldwide, but it doesn't mean that the people that are local are less abundant.
Right.
I mean, there's a ton of them.
I mean, there's millions of people in Central Florida, millions, and
they got money.
Yeah, and you can create a lifelong business just from Central Florida.
It was brilliant. And when I saw you doing it, I'm like, oh man, this is so good.
So, Kevin, speaking of how, Sam brought it up, that there's so many different parts of Central Florida. Like, when you say Orlando, I feel like a lot of people use the word Orlando for Central Florida.
Yes.
They call the parks Orlando, and then even St.
Kissimmee.
They call they call like St. Cloud Orlando, or like all these places, like UCF Orlando, which it is, but man, it's just college town. And
completely different.
Completely different than there's downtown, and then there's like Windermere, which I feel like isn't even
half of the Best of Orlando awards were Sanford established.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sanford, it's just
and
totally
half of
different
it,
city.
It's like places I haven't even traversed, so it's fun because now I'm getting to open up to a whole new side of the city where people are inviting me out to their parts of town.
Right.
And then too, like I grew up in St. Cloud, Kissimmee. So I always felt like an outsider. Anytime I was in Orlando, I was like, this isn't really Central Florida. This isn't really Orlando. And people kind of talk down on us in St. Cloud and Kissimmee. They make it's either hick town or small town.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Actively, I would talk down about St. Cloud, Kissimmee, but I will tell you something. Every time I go there, I've always enjoyed it feeling a little more in the sticks than Orlando. I'm not going to lie to you.
It's a raging good time.
I like it. And you
guys got a rodeo.
Have you ever been to breakfast at the Coffee Cup?
I haven't personally.
I don't think he's allowed.
Okay, there's that thing. I don't know.
So
I thought that was an urban legend.
I'm hoping that they reach out to me for a rebrand because I heard it was owned by Cuban guys, and it's just called the Cup. They're trying to run away from that early narrative stigma. So they really need Mr. 407 Kevin to do a video for them, setting them up for success.
Absolutely, man. You could be the guy. It's Kevin's Cup.
Well, Kevin's Coffee Cup
Kevin's coffee
still
cup.
3Ks.
It fits perfectly.
And they're like, are you sure you want to do this, Kevin?
Dude, I'm telling you right now, I'd go there right now. And immediately you wash the stigma away.
Before I was ever Mr. 407 or Kev Comedy, my first comedy name was going to be Kevin the Kissimmee Kid with 3 Ks. And I was like, I'm going to take the rebrand. And you guys aren't doing anything with it.
It's genius marketing.
They were last weekend.
You'll get both sides. So
Better make the food really good. Really good.
So when you're doing your content, do you like focus on making fun of the differences of Central Florida that everybody can relate to? It's like, the I-4 eyesore has become a thing that I see all the time on social media. After every hurricane, they're still there. I'm tired of it, by the way. Stop posting the stupid I-4 eyesore.
Never stop.
Yeah.
And it's not that much of an eyesore. If I drive, I
actually find it. It's been there so long now that if it goes away, I'm gonna be upset.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, I liked it.
I've actually never hit it in any of my videos. I've never once talked about it. I just felt like it was too cliche. It was something that everybody else has already made a statement about.
It's not like it's a creepy haunted house or something.
Yeah.
It's just a glass building.
Yeah.
It's pretty nice.
I think we all know what it feels like to have a dream of finishing something and not doing it.
Yeah.
So we look at it and we almost can relate to it because that's our life.
Wow, that's deep.
I'm saying, I've got an electric scooter in my garage right now. I need to finish. It's like life gets in the way, man.
I had no idea Tom and Dan was such an introspective podcast.
Oh yeah, that's what people come for our philosophy.
You know what? It's an eyesore, crane's roost. What are you gonna walk around the boardwalk staring at a Holiday Inn and a stinky
it's just
brown
a spider web of boardwalks and with one old lady Italian restaurant.
Oh, look at the culture. There's a Jersey Mike's. They're stupid. Anyway, so Kevin, when back to social media, have you played with monetizing it, figuring out how to turn it into a business? How's that going?
Or had people approach you,
Yeah, I would love to really just quit my day job and just do this. I've had such tremendous opportunities, businesses, venues, the city of St. Cloud. So many people have reached out and it's like, hey, we want you to make content for us. We want you to do promotion for us. And I've capitalized on that. And then obviously more people want me to do stand-up now because they're like, oh my gosh, we watch your content online. I have a wider audience, but it's still in its infancy. I would love to do more with it. I would love for every day a new business to reach out to me and I just make promo, do content, and be funny, still be my authentic self. We'll talk a little bit of smack about your venue, but it's all in good fun and good faith.
Right.
Can I give you some business advice?
Unsolicited business advice from a white guy. Here it comes.
He's Mr. No 07. Don't ever take any of his advice.
Just so you know, every black person he meets, he gives them a piece of advice.
Oh my God. He says, "Can I touch your hair?" before he does it too.
I'm joking.
So you need to get in with the tourism boards because I've had multiple meetings with people.
Unlimited money.
That tell me they're like tourism boards. That's where it's at. I'm like, okay, what do you mean? They're like all these tourism boards have tens of thousands of dollars per month.
Clearwater, Orlando, Visit Daytona, all those
barf out to everybody, and they're wasted on bus stops and commercials that nobody watches.
Use it or lose it money too, which means if they don't give it to you, then they're not going to get it next year for the
Visit
budget.
North Orlando reached out to me, and we started a project, and then I never heard back from
them.
That's
they're
the
very
problem.
flighty. They're in and out. Okay, but when you get
government is so crooked.
I went to one of these meetings with old sales partner of ours.
I remember our sales partner.
And then they're like,
this was for Sunrail before it was Sunrail. I remember this.
And they're like,
this is a real story, by the way. This isn't some lie.
They're like, Sunrail has $15,000 a month. They have this on the table. I'm like, $15,000
a month, not a year. Now they're just going to give you that to talk about St. Cloud for the year. It'd be like $15,000 a month.
I'm like, what do I have to do? I get on my knees. I'll do anything. And then they're like,
you should be able to vanquish somebody just by saying $15,000 a month.
You ride the Sunrail, take some photos, put a couple posts
you
on
there. You got to say the name correctly before you
Hey, it's Tom and Dan, and we love riding the Sunwhale.
Here's the kicker.
Whale's always on the brain.
They don't even listen or care if it works.
Right.
They're just like, they just give you the money. And then at the meeting, and something happened, never talk to them again. But once you land it, you're rich forever.
Yeah. If you do land one of those, it never ends.
Yeah. They just keep writing you the check, and then you're really not even doing anything or promoting not much.
I want the residuals.
You're like, come to Orlando. Mr. 407 told you. Yeah. And that's it. One post, 15,000.
Let's talk about within the comedy community. Did you have the sour grapes folks kind of be like, damn, I'm Mr. 407, or that
hasn't happened at all.
Nice.
There is no ego up in my face, like overtly. So maybe people covertly are jealous or upset.
Well, you don't give off a negative vibe anyway, so
That
maybe
doesn't
that's
mean
why.
anything.
Yeah.
You know comedians.
Yeah.
So
they're like the worst people on the planet.
Sam, write down
I'll
Mr.
vouch for comedians. They're great. I love my comedy.
I love them too, but they are mean as hell to each other.
Real mean to each
So
other.
mean, so mean, so mean.
What did you want me to write down?
Oh, Mr. 352.
Alright.
That's my new name.
Wait a minute. I used to be. I would have
That's
to
the
be Mr.
alternative.
904, but then that changed to 386.
I just wanted to be Mr. 90210, but I missed it.
We had that guy working here for a minute, and then he read my text messages, and I fired his ass. Get the hell out of here. That's a joke.
He quit.
Yeah, he did. He ran out the door.
True.
So now, like, I know you're going to be at Moe's Comedy Jam. Are you focusing primarily on Central Florida, or are you looking to, like, start touring elsewhere?
No, I want to expand. I want to expand as soon as possible. I'm in the process of just like looking for good representation and agents. Just somebody who can get me in some of these comedy clubs.
Don't you dare, Tom.
Hey, Tom, unsolicited advice.
Kevin, tell Mr. 352.
Let's go on tour together.
This is absolutely the worst idea I've ever heard.
If that happens, he has to bring his entire family.
I can get you that tourism money. I've been looking to sign other artists under the T&D Media umbrella. I've had this conversation. I walk around and tell you guys all the time. And you
I'm
tell
like,
me
God damn, you're
stupid.
wasting time.
I've been trying with Mike's Weatherpace for 2 years.
Well, you would actually just be a great liaison because I want to go to like Alabama and Georgia and all these other hick towns.
And you
I was
can
like,
talk to the swamp people.
yeah. It's like, look, I have a white friend, please.
I know nothing about
Get
that.
in there.
All I can tell you is a bunch of ideas. But I can't actually do anything else with them.
Then you're useless.
He'll do that move that everyone loves where they just go, you just do that.
Yeah.
There's
why,
the idea.
Why don't you just try being successful?
Yeah, it's so
just
easy.
be good.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
So let's start breaking down Central Florida here.
Sure.
Because where would you cap it? Because I know we talked about how Central Florida does expand into all these other cities and
Even like little
counties.
neighborhoods.
Yeah, I was going to say, this should be a book, there should be a website, there should be an app.
That's my first merch that's coming out. I want to create a tour guide called Dating in Central Florida with Mr. 407, and I sell it after my shows.
Hell yeah.
Little small booklet, little pieces of advice each page. Just
easy for you to print, easy for them to buy, something
Exactly.
quick, cheaper than a textile.
yes.
Man, you're going to do well.
Can I go first, just so you could agree or disagree?
Sure.
Because this may be a hot take, but I will even go. Most people will say the cutoff is St. John's.
You're
For
gonna make
Central
people
Florida.
mad. Sam hates that Sanford is considered Orlando.
But
Not Orlando.
She called out every single award, and a lot of those are friends of ours. But I think I'm with her. It's like, is there
I'm
a
not saying
city?
they're not great establishments.
They're great. I mean, they
Yeah.
have to win. They have to be great if they're going to win in another
But
city.
make them best of Sanford.
But
Oh, I'm
she's
sick.
not
Carrot
wrong.
Top beat me, and he
yeah,
lives
in
in
Vegas.
Vegas.
I mean, I know he has a house here, but
Yeah, but I mean, like,
he doesn't perform here.
He's
No.
not an Orlando comic.
And he's not a local comedian. Best local
He's
comic?
Not. He's
That's
not a
crazy.
local. You can't say he's a local comedian.
That's wild.
Anyway, sorry. Go ahead.
That's all right.
Your cap. Your cap.
I'll
Let him
expand
get it out.
Central Florida from Daytona.
Uh-huh.
I agree with Daytona.
Yeah, and then if you're moving west, go to Ocala, from Ocala and Daytona.
Sure.
Down all the way to Kissimmee. Melbourne's out.
No, Melbourne's not in.
Coco's in, and then I'll go. They will eke into a Polk County area.
Oh, I don't think that Coco's
Claremont.
What about the Claremont and
Claremont,
Men's?
yeah.
No,
all
he's
that.
saying-
I think that Cocoa is
Groveland.
Satellite Beach, so that's a whole separate area than Central Florida. I think that's the cutoff of Central Florida is St. Cloud.
I go to Satellite Beach a lot because of you. I will say that it does not feel Central Florida to me.
no, I
It feels
know.
like a different area.
I just want
Just based on feeling.
yeah.
I like it. I love it, but I'm just saying it's.
I want to include the beach. If I'm going all the way to
You
Daytona,
did at the beach, Daytona.
Yeah.
I think that's a contradiction. You can't be Central Florida and be beach at the same time. Beach is a coast.
Yeah, you're right.
All
You're
right.
right. No,
All
you're
right.
right. And
So you're even removing Daytona.
I will give it to Daytona just out of the sheer
Daytona Beach Shores,
silliness
maybe. Okay,
that
yeah.
Daytona
Oh my
brings to the
God.
table.
Well, I grew up in DeLand, so
Okay, yeah.
it's just trash, wall to wall. I love it. but-
I didn't even realize half of these places were Central Florida. They just kept on asking me to name, like, when it first started on TikTok and Instagram, everyone was like, do this place. And I was like, I have dated here. I have done this. And it got to the point where I expanded too far, and I almost didn't know what to talk about, and you could see my my expertise dwindling a little bit.
I gotcha.
Like, when I did South Florida at one point, I think I called Pompano?
Yeah,
I was like Pompano, and they
Oh,
killed me.
no, yeah.
They killed me. They were
you
like,
can't give him an old Pompano.
Yeah.
That's
I
a
believe my
tell.
father used to say Pompano.
Yeah.
Stay out of, like basically all of South Florida. It's,
Right.
it's a different country down there.
I got to witness the chat room do something that must happen to you a lot. I saw a person pop in and then immediately go, "Oh, yo, Mr. 407." Does that happen to you?
Everywhere.
Does it?
Everywhere, and I love it, bro. I'm such a hoe for attention.
But
yes,
it's
I
good
want
that
it.
You embrace that though, because some people have the absolute, and it's the worst when you do see that person out and you go, "Hey," and then they're like kind of an a-hole or not.
Hey,
Like,
what are you doing this for?
I
exactly.
assume that
I
people
love
get
that you love
tired of it eventually. I don't think I
Why,
ever
though?
will.
Why? I've been broadcasting in this town almost for 30 years. I will never get to a point where a listener that's been listening to me since I was 19 on Real Radio, if you come up to me in dinner, whatever, and you say, "Hey, man, appreciate you," I'm never going to get tired of that.
I'm
ever.
excited.
Ever.
I hear people like Eminem talking. He's like, "Hey, I can't go to the bathroom. I can't go out with my kid without like 50 people coming up and asking for autographs." I assume that
Because your beard's all weird.
eventually you want some level of privacy when you go out. I do not.
Yeah.
Come up to me.
I can't set foot in the Castleberry B-dubs without getting mobbed. I have to wear a disguise.
Yeah. That's great. I want to wear a disguise.
I will say I'm a bit of a celebrity of the airport Hooters.
I have a chic disguise, an actual one. If
Yeah,
you
you
want
can't
one.
wear it anymore.
It's wild for me. I went to the Milk District. I was just doing shows out there, and I walked out right in front of Sportstown, and like 4 or 5 girls were like, "We love your content. Will you sign our chest?" And I was like, "This is what I made content
Living your
for."
dream,
Yeah, this is
guy's
great.
signing chests.
Yeah.
Drunky the Bear used to
Can
sign
I say
chests.
can I say chest on this
You can
pod?
say
Yeah, you can say
Yeah.
boobies.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely signed some boobies out here.
Yeah,
Tom
man,
just
that's-
offered a guy $100 to show his ding dong.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
We had a male modeling before you.
Wow.
So
That guy was giving me
I'm
some
offended no one has asked me to take my pants off.
Yeah, that guy was giving me some real creepy vibes. I'm just gonna,
No.
I'm joking.
how what's the micro breakdown? Like, are you, like
Oh, that's when I dance really fast.
well, because
Should we have him break down the neighborhoods we live in?
well, yeah, I get well,
Yeah.
because I'll tell you. Yeah, do you know where Heroin Alley is?
No.
Okay. Well,
Oh, man.
No, I
That's a
stay- I
name, that's a
specifically
name
stay
you,
away.
that is a name you have given it.
I
Very
specifically stay away from
specific to
heroin.
you.
police told me that's what they called
OBT
it.
and Holden
Well,
is
there's a-
heroin.
No, that's not Heroin Alley.
See what I'm saying? There's multiple heroin alleys.
No, Heroin Alley is Goldenrod and Curry Ford.
Oh, Goldenrod and Curry Ford.
They've
yeah,
cleaned it
yeah.
up a little bit.
Yeah, well, that's what it
Since
used to
you
be.
lived there.
It used to be called in 2004. That's what
Yeah.
Heroin
They're trying to
Alley
make
was
Curry
called.
Ford cool now. So.
Yeah.
Curry Ford, yeah, they did try to make Curry Ford,
Yeah.
like in that Waterford area
Hourglass
too.
District.
Yeah. They
I always
tried.
thought it'd be interesting if they put some, you know, like we have the Vietnamese area of Orlando is like my favorite for the food.
It's good.
Yeah, all the food is bomb around here. They should have made Curry Ford and gone with
Ooh, like
made
an
it-
Indian district.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
Ooh.
it just makes
Should've.
sense. Stupid pun, and you roll with it, and you put the good restaurants there, and
Half Indian restaurants and then half
Hookah
half auto mechanic store.
Yeah,
There's
why
just like
not?
there's a bunch of Ford
Yeah,
dealerships.
I'd be totally okay with it.
And then I lived on Holden OBT
Yeah.
in the Carlton Arms South there.
Carlton
and
Arms South.
So
And now he's moved on up to Castleberry.
Yeah, you
Well,
are.
De-
Castleberry B-dubs.
Deltona in between.
Yes.
Right.
Which you know.
What was your take on Deltona?
Deltona. What did I say about Deltona? Everyone's gay there. It's
Okay. All right, yeah.
very LGBTQ friendly.
Okay.
The shows
When did that happen?
that was not my experience.
So apparently there's 2 Deltonas, and I didn't know this. There's a part of Deltona that's like very like sketchy,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
then there's another part
That's
that's
the only
like
part I know.
there's like a whole
There's a gay part.
there's an art district part of Deltona now where it's like mannequin stores and then just a bunch of like dive bars that are all like with the pride flags on the front. They're all LGBTQ
God,
friendly.
if I'd have known that, I'd have moved to the Pride section of
Yeah,
Deltona.
yeah.
I'd have stayed there a little longer.
That must have been after 2008.
No, this
Back-
is very new. I just did a show out there, and I've only performed in Deltona once, so it might have just been.
Wow, look at that. They got a club there.
Yeah, I did a good comedy show out
That's
there.
awesome, man.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a place that you did it and then like it was the one that you got the most amount of heat and you're like had to retract or say like or is that not you would put too much actual thought into it to ever let that happen?
In a video or stand up?
Either.
So in stand-up, I don't know if you guys have ever watched me, but I'm very likable.
Okay.
So nobody ever gives me any pushback.
Gotcha.
I'm just a very happy-go-lucky guy. They're like, this guy, we want to be friends with him. My videos, on the other hand, yes, I have gotten some pushback. For all of the trolls that are on the internet, they are not in the Dating in Central Florida series, so I've been really lucky. I think when there is pushback, it's legitimate, like, hey, you don't know the name of our city. You're talking shit about a town that you actually never been in.
Gotcha.
Which
that's
is
not even
right.
that bad.
Yeah,
I
rightfully
would feel like if like people got super offended.
No, nobody's getting
But
offended.
usually people laugh along with it, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
everybody.
they know that their neighborhood.
It's either, I think they either ignore it, like, this isn't for me, I don't get it, or they get it and they're like, yeah, this
like,
is
yep, he's
really
right.
relatable. Yeah, there's not really much in between in this specific series.
Now we're going to go around and talk about our most hated parts of Orlando.
Oh,
I'll go
okay.
first.
All right.
Round table.
Metro Orlando. I've never liked it.
What is
Like Metro West?
Yeah, Metro West.
Oh, I hate Metro West.
There's nothing good there.
I don't understand it.
Crystal lived there when she first moved to Orlando.
Too many bushes shaped like things.
And
Yeah, it's just Kirkman's like rich uppity cousin. Like, why are you here? We get it. You like teak. You go to teak.
Yeah.
Everybody loves a good burger. What else you got?
That's it.
It's
Nothing.
all apartment complexes.
Yeah.
too. Like that's all the culture that's here.
Yeah.
Anyway, what about you, Mr. 407?
Oh man, I really, really hate Poinciana with a passion. If
Oh,
I have to do anything in Poinciana, I'm
It's a pain
sick.
in the ass to get in and out.
It sucks. And my
Yeah.
grandma lives in Poinciana, and she lives by herself. God bless her heart. And she
Aw.
just needs company. So sometimes I'll go to Poinciana.
Come see me, baby.
Just come spend some time with your grandma. I'm like, damn it. Damn it.
Can we go hyper small?
Yeah.
How about Ravanage?
What's
that?
Outside of my
hate
expertise.
Ravanage.
What's Ravanage?
I hate
No,
Ravanage.
Ravanage is right next
know
to the
Ravanage?
old.
No.
Okay, it's on 1792 and Lee Road.
He nailed it.
and
This man knows his Ravanage.
I drive by Ravanage all the time.
I hate Ravanage.
It's been near the old closed down Bubbaloo's that they're eventually
Yeah.
going to turn into.
They closed down Bubbaloo's. They closed down they had a Tony Roma. What was it? TR Fires.
Oh,
it's
I
in front
miss
of
Tony
Ale
Roma.
House.
They had a TR Fires.
And every time I drive by, I'm like, Ravanage, you think you're better than me?
They do. They think they got a fountain.
Yeah.
They've got different colored stones or marbles. They got
Yeah.
like a little thing, and you're like, F you, Ravanage.
Yeah, I'm like, you'll always be the old Bubbaloo's to me.
Yeah, I look at you, I'm like, the Lee Road hooker peed on you.
Do
The
you
Lee
guys-
Road hooker peed on you.
Do you guys remember a place in Orlando that was called Splendid China?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, where was that at? That was part of my childhood memories, and I, as an adult, was like,
iDrive, right?
did I make that
I
up?
think that was an iDrive thing. It was an attraction. You could go there, and it was
Says
like
it was in Four Corners.
it was a
Oh.
Chinese theme park you could go to. And
My
they-
mom worked there.
They
at
had a
one
tiny.
point.
Why didn't you ask her?
They had a little wall of China, and then they had the fake terracotta
I
warriors.
never got to see that.
Yeah,
They had the terracotta warriors, and it was like a Chinese experience in
Wait,
the
how
middle
old
of.
are you, Kevin?
I'm 31.
Okay, so how the hell
You
did
got
you
a
see it?
good ass memory, dude.
I was so young, and I just remember my parents taking me there. Like, we went to Old Town, we went to Splendid China, and we maybe went to South Chase Movie Theater, and that was our outside experience.
Splendid China.
I didn't realize they didn't close until 2003.
I didn't get to go
What
to
the hell?
Splendid China. I remember when they closed, one of the big things was like as soon as it closed down, you if you were like a teen, you would break into
Everybody was trying to steal the stuff out of there,
you'd
right?
break into Splendid China and you would smash all the terracotta warriors.
Oh,
You smash them all up.
that feels mildly racist.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Unless
it
it's
does.
like-
It does. Yeah.
Unless it's like Taiwanese exchange students. They're like, this
That's
is
true. Right.
this is
Exactly.
us.
Like, we have to do this.
We
It's not
have
as
to
good
do
as the
this.
originals.
Here's an area that I'll never really feel like is an actual area because I lived here while it was being built. And it was just fields, the fields before Bithlow,
Yeah.
which is Waterford Lakes.
Oh, yeah.
That's where I live.
I'm very.
When people say
Are
like,
you
if
really
and I'm like, the shopping center. I keep every time someone says I live near Waterford Lakes, I'm like, the shopping center.
Yeah,
All
Waterford
I
Lakes
know
just
is the
came up.
shopping center.
I give all the credit of Waterford Lakes to Firkin Keglers.
Yeah, I remember when that was being built.
I always feel when somebody says that, I always feel like they shouldn't be saying it.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know if I'm being racist
Yeah.
in German.
It sounds racist, right? Frickin' Kegler sounds like something your grandpa would mumble under his breath.
Frickin' Kegler.
Yeah, that's what you did. You did it. That's exactly what it sounds like. I don't like like certain areas in Orlando, I don't like the buffer areas we have. Like, for instance, I don't like, what is the, like when we're driving out to like Cocoa, that area there. I don't like that.
Yeah.
There's nothing there.
Like
It's
Wedgefield?
Titusville?
Yeah, I don't like it. It's just like, what is that?
It's Everglades.
All of these places are terrible for me because of dating. So, like, you'll meet a girl and they tell you they live in this obscure part of town, like Waterford or Titusville, and then you're like, well, damn, I got to drive to your side of town and hope that there's something to do there. I got to Google what there is to do there and then hope you don't live with your mom, your cousin, or your fiance that you didn't tell me that you guys are still together.
Yeah, well, that's a huge problem with Orlando. It's like, you live in Orlando, you're like, okay, I live in Orlando too. Oh, let me put in Google here. Oh, you're 45 minutes away.
You're always 49 minutes away. It's always 49.
And it's the same place? Like, yep, same place.
Yeah.
So,
and that's usually an underestimate, I've found. That's usually when it says 45, 49 minutes, it's usually closer to an hour and 12. You know what I mean?
And then they all have the same 3 restaurants in their town. It's Chili's, Applebee's, and Outback Steakhouse. And then you're not really setting yourself apart. You go on the same 2 for $25 date. Hopefully she had enough 2 for $1 margaritas at Chili's that you guys are going to have a good time afterwards.
Speaking of Chili's, have you guys been to the Waterford Lakes Chili's recently?
No.
It has fallen into disrepair.
Why do you continue to go to Chili's? This guy's Chili's for life. He goes to Chili's like once every 2 weeks.
Also, there's a million other restaurants over
You
there.
go to Chili's more than, dude. You
The
have
honey
a
chipotle
problem.
chicken crispers are everything.
During the pandemic.
I mean, I go to Hooters a lot because I like it, but you go to Chili's way too much.
I forgot the mugs are plastic.
Yeah, I don't like that. It always gets me.
It's weird.
You know what happens? I go to
thick.
grab my mug of my El Presidente margarita, and I forget that it's not glass, and I've already put enough strength in my arm for glass.
Yes.
And then I end up throwing my margarita into the air.
You're like a Viking that's just enjoyed alcohol for the first time.
I gave it the glass strength, and it was a plastic mug.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, what is all your social media so everybody can follow you?
You can follow me on everything at Mr. 407 Kevin. I'm also on Mr407Kevin.com, so you can watch see where upcoming shows are happening and keep up with the content.
There you
Awesome.
go.
Well, Kevin, we'll see you on Friday
Excited
at
about
Moe's
it,
Comedy Jam. We appreciate it. And I'll give you my business card in case you want some, talk some business in the future.
We're going to open the cafe back up, right?
There's a whole thing. I got it written down.
Kevin's Comedy Cafe.
Kevin's
Comedy with a K.
Kevin's Comedy Cafe.
The K is for laughter.
You just got to put my face on the front of the sign.
It'll fix it all.
It'll fix it.
In whiteface.
Oh, my God.
What are you doing in whiteface?
I'll be the first black guy that gets canceled for whiteface.
All right. We'll be right back.
Awesome, man. We're still on YouTube and Twitch, but thank you for doing that, man.
Sweet.
That was really fun.
I had a great time.
Pardon me?
Thank you, dude. Yeah,
we appreciate you doing that, man.
Because it'd be cool to, like, once every month or so to have you come in and talk about local Orlando stuff.
I would love to.
Where's that go, Sam?
Tuesday 1.
And you can tell us, like, hey, I did some.
You want a
stuff
shirt?
on my social about this. Yeah.
Grab my shirt, man. Pleasure meeting you, man. Thanks so
Pleasure's
much
all
for
mine.
coming
Thanks
in.
for having me.
Anytime.
Thanks for putting
Of
up
course,
with me in the emails.
I'm glad you could make it.
Yeah, man.
Happy to do it.
She has had a good luck lately with our emails, so I'm just glad that you were able to do it, man.
Heck yeah.
This is it should be a really fun night, and I think that they're really close to selling out.
Yeah, I think they're probably going to sell it by the
I
end of the
wasn't
day.
worried about that at all, though, because our guys, like, normally, like, guys are like, oh, yeah, I'll get in, and they'll just show up at the last minute and back it out.
I don't know if he wants to finish out Tuesday before lunch or not. So we only need 12 minutes.
We already have some for Tuesday.
Yeah, we have Tuesday 3 and 4 done.
I'd love to chat with you guys in the future. Give me a call anytime.
But
Yeah,
it's
let's do
up
it, man.
to him.
We'll shoot you an email. 28 there. Okay. Oh, that needs an edit. I didn't write that.
Yeah, I wrote a couple of those down.
Thank you for doing that.
Do you guys plan on clipping any of this stuff up for social media? Yeah, so if anything, if you want to invite me as a collaborator on Instagram, I'd be happy.
Oh, I'll have Melissa do that. I'll put it in an email to Melissa, TC.
Yeah, we got an editor that does the daily clips for us every day, so we'll mention to her to tag you.
Yeah, for sure.
I love it.
Yeah, that'll make it a lot easier and help us out, too. So, yeah.
Cool.
Thank you, man.
I look forward
Appreciate
to
you
it.
offering that.
Have a good one.
Yes, sir.
Bye. Do you want to finish this 12 minutes for Tuesday, or
Yeah.
you want to just go to lunch?
Let's do the 12
Okay.
minutes. Might as well. Because we just talk about Aaron Rodgers since it's
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, we'll talk.
Wasn't even that big of a deal considering it's not like I thought that guy was going to set my team on fire, but it's a hit.
But for the first 4 plays was goddamn.
He suffered a complete tear of his left Achilles tendon, out for the season. That just came out by the
just
NFL.
came out?
Yeah.
Let me drop him. They're saying out for the season, huh?
That's what NFL just announced about an hour ago.
Okay, got that.
What is this? Patrick Mahomes accidentally tweets mean note about Aaron Rodgers after injury.
Oh, no. What'd he tweet?
Quarterback Patrick Mahomes on Monday wrote that he hated Aaron Rodgers after the brand new New York Jets quarterback went down with a suspected Achilles injury, but it was a forgotten comma, not a distorted sense of rivalry that made Mahomes do it. Hate that man. Oh, so he was saying like I hate that comma man, but it looked like he was saying I hate that man.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's funny. That's pretty funny. Yeah, I don't like wishing injury on folks. I've got some friends that are like good. I'm like, come on. I mean, he'll be fine, obviously, but.
Cruise info will be announced tomorrow.
Okay. All right. You want to bring us back? Here we go. We're still recording, Tracy. 3, 2.
Welcome back to Corporate Time. So last night, Monday Night Football.
I don't want to talk about it.
Daniel had Aaron Rodgers and you had.
I had Garrett Wilson too.
Garrett Wilson too, yeah. And
Garrett Wilson still. A viable, good player, but Aaron Rodgers not a good pick. It was a bad pick I should not have picked Aaron Rodgers. It's all I had. He was on the board.
There's a random injury. Anyway, so
I was already getting torn up though. People were telling me, "Why'd you pick him?" I was already eating it from everybody. Like,
no,
why'd you pick him?
No,
this guy's an idiot. He's overblown.
No. That's a stupid. Aaron Rodgers could have put up a ton of points.
I thought he'd be fine. I thought he'd at least manage the game correctly.
So I didn't even know what happened because I didn't sit down to start watching Monday Night Football until 10 minutes into the game, and then all of a sudden I turned it on and
I was having a good time. I'm watching and I was laughing and making fun of Jets fans. I think Jets fans just look the stupidest of all of the NFL teams. Like they look the dumbest. They've got every guy's got a hard hat on or a fire hat or something.
They were excited this year.
I know they were, but they look really dumb. They look stupid. They're all up there and every guy.
I feel bad.
And every guy is like, I'm Jetman and I'm Jetman Jerry and I'm original Jetman and I'm Northside Jetman and I'm like, oh, enough with the Jetman. You guys look like a bunch of fools.
They've been
Everybody's
waiting.
got a green screen suit on.
They've been waiting so long for this, and finally Aaron Rodgers came into town.
What happened to old Zach Wilson? They were excited for him.
Well, they're excited for Sam Darnold before that.
They were happy for Sam.
They haven't been excited since Mark Sanchez. Anyway, so they were so excited, and
I would take Mark Sanchez.
Aaron Rodgers does Hard Knocks, which blows it up even more because he comes off as super likable on Hard Knocks, and everybody was like, "I was wrong about him."
You got me watching that. I even said I was wrong about him. It actually
he did the joint handshake with Sauce Gardner. There, puts it on the internet.
That played into me picking him. You know that, right?
Oh yeah,
Hard Knocks,
no, I know.
And all of it, like the whole thing, because I've never been a fan.
Yeah,
ever.
Yeah.
I don't believe the hype.
And 4 plays into it,
fourth snap,
he goes down, and he doesn't even get tackled hard.
No, it was a standard. It looks the way he twisted to his left to get out of it. And then can I just rant for a second? If you get injured and you know in your brain it's a catastrophic injury, and he knew it was a catastrophic injury, I need you to Neymar style flail your body up and down the field. I need you punching your ayahuasca fists to blood mush. I need you freaking out. I need you whip your helmet off. I need you acting as if you care. I don't need you to calmly sit on the ground.
Soccer style.
Yeah, and then calmly sit and then meditate the pain away. I don't need any meditation. I don't need transcendental nothing. I need you to be mad, as mad as I was, and my wife was snickering, and it caused an argument in our house, and I'll probably talk about on Friday Free Show. I went to bed effing mad. I need you as mad as I am.
You're right. There's not enough writhing and pain, and
I need you mad.
Beating the ground.
It doesn't look like you care.
Yeah, but if he did that, then everyone would call him a baby.
No, I need the baby. I need the baby. I need a baby full on fit. I need this is supposed to be my year.
It's funny the where you just calmly sit down. You're standing up, and then you're like,
no, but that's how I knew.
I have to sit down.
No, but that's how I knew. When he calmly sat down, I'm like, oh, well, that's the worst thing he can do is calmly sit down.
Yeah.
He knows.
Yeah.
Because he's doing the meditation.
Well, I'm just gonna sit down.
Yeah, he's doing the meditation.
Yeah.
It's like,
leave him alone.
It's been announced that his Achilles, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Full tear out for the rest of the season.
Well, he felt it retract into his calf. That's what happens.
It's gotta
There's
hurt
people
so
on
bad.
Twitter showing the slow mo, here's where it retracts, and it was like,
Ew.
Yeah. And then they super slow mo it. Stop doing that.
I can't watch it.
Yeah, stop doing that.
And then once they put you in the boot, you're never coming
Well,
back.
once he got carted off, I'm like, well, he's done.
Yeah.
He's done. And then Andrea's like, I'm not laughing at your team. I'm like, yeah, you are. You were just laughing in my face. I just flushed $300 down the effing toilet.
And then the Jets win.
Yeah, they did
Which,
win.
by the way, I immediately panicked because I had a lot of money in Jets teasers, which was like teasing them up +6. So I had like a lot of Jets +7.5. Jets
Did you do
+8,
that? Did you do that
8.5.
DraftKings 9/11 parlay?
No.
Yeah.
But I
It
saw
walked
it and
that
I
bad.
wanted
Almost
to.
as good as the 9/11 Hooter shirt that came out years
didn't
ago.
see that.
Oh, I'm trying to buy one on eBay right now. It's a 9/11. It says Hooters, and then it's the two towers, and then on the bottom it says "Let freedom reign."
I did
Pretty
feel-
awesome. Yeah, look that up. It's been reprinted a bunch, but I guess Hooters did that back in the 90s. Well, early 2000s.
I felt horrible for all our Jets fans. Tony Palmiotti,
I
big
know.
Jets, it was
Maybe
his
this will
year.
stop him from dressing so stupid, right? Maybe they'll take the game a little more serious now. That you can get rid of all the dumb helmets and the face paint. I'm Jetman Jerry. I'm Northside Jetman. Hey, look at me. I'm a Jetman.
Now the Jets defense looked insane.
Very fast.
They single-handedly won that game. Then Stinky Wilson barely able to.
You don't really need. You just need somebody to manage the game if your defense is that freaking fast.
Yeah.
Holy moly!
Got to do something though, But I mean, he was a first-round pick. It's just it never looked good last year. So.
Yeah, anyway, that stinks. I guess I'll drop him and I'll get my new key to victory, Purdy. I'm riding Purdy all the way to victory.
That's listen, you could be good this year.
Well,
with Purdy.
pressure's off now. I don't have to care. I can just have Maisie set my team if I want to and not care anymore.
So, I did though, as far as all the hype and storyline, it is like a super.
I feel really bad.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Because
I feel really bad
just
for
the
him.
entertainment for all of us. The entertainment of Rodgers playing this year would have been more fun to watch.
Was he doing all of the things that, I'm not a superstitious person. I don't believe in that sort of stuff really, but there is an element of rituals that I still do just because they're fun. But it was weird that he was doing everything that most people, if you are superstitious, would say not to do, right? Like, they'd ask him, you want to play to your 45? He'd be like, oh, absolutely, I can do it, Instead of just coming...
one game at a time.
Yeah, sometimes I do feel like you should just do the one game at a time. Like, the whole build-up beforehand where they ran the interview, and they used the quote twice. They ran the interview piece. Then, before they even did the first snap, they ran the quote of him saying, I came here to win a Super Bowl. Don't do that. Don't do that. You did that. You jinxed it with your energy. And I don't even believe in that.
It was NFL's new Tom Brady.
It was.
The old man showing he still got it.
It was.
And
he had a good haircut. In the interview, he had one of the best haircuts he's ever had. I commented to my wife. He said he got rid of the stupid mullet. He got rid of the weirdo beard. He looked like a good, attractive, perfect haircut, smooth.
It just goes to show you how much of a anomaly Tom Brady was, and we took it for granted because we were because I even said well, Tom Brady could do it. They all have the same trainers and they have the same chiropractors and like masseuses.
Don't
and
they talk to each other about what's best for the?
Well, yeah, they all. I mean, Rogers is doing what Brady's doing, as far as like with the diet and the stretching, and you know what I'm saying. It's that they all do the same stuff. So
Aaron does a little different though. He does the ayahuasca.
Yeah,
he does some extra stuff.
Here's another thing. He was meditating during the national anthem. Did you see that? He had his eyes closed. He was standing there meditating. I mean, he's doing everything you shouldn't do.
But it just goes to show you, you're 39 years old. Your body's 39 years old, and Brady was the anomaly.
He did that. He didn't do that because he got sacked, did he? It looked like he did that.
Well,
just in turning.
They also I think the rusher pushed him down and put stress
on that leg.
Basically, it was like compressing you further than you were going to go with your own weight. Anyway, I don't know if that was exactly what happened or not. But the thing is, your age doesn't help you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're 39 years old. It probably has to do with why it snaps so easily.
That's what I'm thinking.
You know, and it's like it
didn't look like a crazy. Oh, that was a brutal play. It just looked like a regular play.
Yeah. And so I'm guessing his age played into his injury.
Now I did something.
And I don't think he'll ever come back because with the Achilles, that's real bad. Most people end up not coming back from Achilles, and it's very rare that young people.
I did something that I don't think you can do. Sam could probably do it, but I did something that I don't think you could do because there are too many bets. After I sat there and I watched it, and I let my anger build in my brain, like to the point where I was getting hot, and I grabbed my phone and I looked at it and I plugged it in, and I turned the TV off right after the fourth snap, and I went to bed, silently and angry at my family. And I put my sleep mask on. I laid there.
You missed a great game.
No, I didn't want. No, I had to take myself out of it.
Now you did lose your fantasy because you got 0 points.
I got nothing.
So now who are you gonna go with?
I've got to go Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
If I can
pick
get
up
him.
Quarterbacks are you. I mean,
there's plenty of other good quarterbacks.
There's
out
like
there.
6 that matter, and the rest you can pick up off.
Yeah,
waivers
Aaron Rodgers wasn't even a good quarterback really to pick, but I thought he'd be a fun. See, I went for fun this year. That I screwed it all up. I went for fun and I blew it.
So. It's still, though, because the Jets won, it will be entertaining to see what happens. Can they come, can the defense carry this team, all the way? Is it going to be like.
Has Aaron Rodgers said anything yet? Has he released a statement at all?
I haven't seen anything yet.
What is he going to say? Like, there's
My bad.
Well, he's not.
I kind of want him to say something.
It's like a freak thing,
No, but I want him to say something about how disappointed he was. I'm sorry I sat on the field calmly. I should have been punching my fists.
I'm sure he's going to make some sort of statement that he's super disappointed.
Do you start drinking after that?
Well, the thing
does
is,
he start ayahuasca-ing, like when they cart him off? Like
he
when
just moves to Costa Rica.
When he gets home, does he just have a shot of whiskey or something? Or does these are super athletes? They don't do that, right?
Well, it probably signifies the end of his career. I don't know.
It's the worst ending, though. It's worse than Brady's, and I thought Brady's was the worst.
See, because
remember when Brady was going to go out on top after winning that first Bucs Super Bowl, and I was like, dude, if he goes out right now, it is the most beautiful sports story ever written, right?
Yeah.
And then you win a little extra, and it's just not as good. This, though, you win a little extra, and this is real bad. This one's the worst one. Because you didn't even, dude, you got 4 snaps. We didn't even get to see what you did.
Yeah.
So it was all for nothing. Like, literally the whole season, you didn't even play one game, not even one game.
Now, there could be some story about him trying to come back from this injury and seeing if
prove himself.
Because you don't need to run, so it's like, the Achilles may not affect him as much. Wide receivers and running backs usually don't come back from this, but a quarterback maybe. So, but then again, he's been talking about retirement for years.
Yeah.
So it's like
this might be the final straw.
How disgusting is it? But how disgusting is it if you take New York, you put him on your back, ayahuasca, everything. You build the team. You convince your buddy to come along. What's his name? Older dude, receiver.
Lazard.
No, Lazard. Cobb.
Yeah.
You bring it. It's not. You're not bringing. You're bringing your old buddies. And
old
you get
light-eye Cobb.
And then you put everybody, right? And you get New York involved, and all the guys, Jetman Johnny and Jerry Jet, and the Jetman, Northside Jetman, and they're all in their helmets, and they're all ready for you. And you take 4 snaps, which might as well be 1 snap, and then the whole thing is ruined, and you play 0 games for the Jets. 0 games you played. You didn't play 1 game.
Didn't even complete a pass.
Oh, yeah.
Now, although
it doesn't even sound real.
if Zach Wilson
On
takes,
9/11, you did it.
yeah,
You did it on 9/11. No one's bringing that up.
how cool was it the Jets won? Oh, after all that,
They had to.
That's
They
why that
had
9/11
to.
parlay was in
They
place.
had to do it.
Yeah. Although Buffalo's from New York too.
Right, I was gonna say.
Yeah, but everybody was going Jets.
but
This was
yeah.
the Jets game.
Jets is
this
the
was not a
9/11
Buffalo
team.
game. We know Buffalo's awesome.
Yeah. Although if Zach Wilson does win and take them to the playoffs,
That's a
or
good story,
further,
too.
Then they'll forget about Rodgers.
Absolutely, they will.
That's how quickly people forget. If like he's able to do it, they'll be like, "Oh, get old man Rodgers out of here!" Like he's done. Although they paid him a lot, and it's all guaranteed because of the injury.
Fun fact, I'll
Or
leave you
there's a
with this
certain
from
amount.
our buddy Jay Korn in the Twitch chat room. You can chat with us all throughout the show, Monday through Friday. Fun fact, he needed to play in 70% of the snaps with the Jets in order for Green Bay to get a first-round pick, as it was conditional.
Yeah, I wonder what his contract says about it, like even his money. Because he started the season.
One of
is
your
that-
shows will break it down, right?
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know if there's a percentage for money, but I think once he starts and like he got on the field
Yeah.
for game one, like something kicks in.
And even people
He's
that
like-
hate him, because
he's the
most of my
worst-
friends hate Aaron Rodgers. None of y'all feel sorry for him at all? Not even a little. I do.
Yeah.
I think this is a terrible ending.
Of course, no one. Well,
This is like the worst ending.
for all of us viewers. It's not.
No, I mean like for the city of New York and all the Jets
Yeah,
fans.
yeah.
Our
They got
buddy
that
Bull,
defense,
our
though.
buddy Bull. Yeah,
Yeah,
right. You're right.
yeah.
You're right. Look on the bright side.
All right, we will be right back.
Cool. All right.
You want to give me an intro for that?
Yes, ma'am. It's
Tuesday 2.
And what did we talk about?
We did Kevin Dean, Aaron Rodgers injury, and then Kenny Samsel.
You hear about that NFL player just died? That it was in that construction accident.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the story. What happened?
Mike
last
Williams.
week.
Yeah, but I guess he just died.
Oh man.
Like
What happened to him?
I don't know.
A beam fell on him.
Oh shit.
Like was it building his house or was he there?
No, I believe he was working construction now.
Oh, he's actually working construction.
That's how I read it.
Wow.
Because he was retired, right?
Yeah.
All right. I got some. Ready?
Yep.
Hey, Kenny's outside. I think it's Kenny.
The pervert?
Yeah. Kenny,
Oh,
the,
yeah.
the
Okay.
pink-haired pervert. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How do you
Yeah,
come
we're-
back from that? I don't know what to say now.
Fine.
Yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah.
Samsel's
Yeah,
here.
he's out there.
The pink-haired pervert.
Okay. Tonight on a corporate time with Tom and Dan. Tom and Dan welcome comedian Mr. 407 Kevin Dean to the program. And Kenny from the Two Moves podcast is here. And here they are. The L'Oreal and Manic Panic of radio, Tom and Dane.
All right, guys. I guess we're going to lunch. See you.